Oh, the Greek anthem.
They're not sadistic enough to play it all. Uruguay's is 15 minutes... No, it's 5 minutes long, not 15 minutes long. And Greg says Russia has a fucking fantastic national anthem, provided a choir sings it.
There's going to be a first run here as Tamim dinks a straightish delivery round the corner for one.
Ravi Nair's joined us. He says, early start by the Gorillas, surely some mistake.
John Watson,
you forgot about the rain delay, normality restored. Hi all.
Hello.
And Ajay Rahul says, those songs are really cheesy.
What?
Lol. James Humberston says, I'd like to state that the Australian national anthem is empirically one of the worst. Peter Sculthorpe said so. Well, I don't know who Peter Sculthorpe is.
Is he a famous musicologist, isn't
he? Maybe he's the world's expert on national anthems. I know a lot of national anthems.
Do try to talk into the microphone while you're having a sleep there.
Not least because it doesn't actually mention Holland or the Netherlands at all, but it does mention Spain and Germany.
That's extraordinary.
Mortal enemies and Heineken.
This is something nice about the King of Spain.
Marijuana.
The real King of Spain, not the Birmingham King of Spain.
Ashley Giles. The lights are on already. It's very cloudy in Birmingham.
Very dark.
Very, very dark, I'm afraid to say. We were thinking we'd get a better day than this. Let's just see if this has any effect on the ball. Here comes Bouvi then into Sumia, and Sumia leaves this one fairly close to his off stump on a good length.
On a technical note, Mark Zip says, I'm catching tiny occasional clipping on mics, not jingles. Feels like overdriving. My headphones okay elsewhere. No idea what
that is
about.
Technical speak, isn't it?
And first way to take Manhattan has joined us. Says, morning, gents. In the playoff between the best eyes in cricket, definitely cheering for Sabir Rahman.
It is Sabir, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it is Sabir. We should have a third place playoff in this, shouldn't we?
No.
We can say
just
that.
Drawing out the misery.
Movie in again to Sumia, and he goes bold. He drove at this one outside the off stump, got a thick inside edge, back down onto the stumps. It's a disastrous start for Bangladesh, but a wonderful one for Bhuvi Kumar and his India teammates. Sumya Sarkar has not troubled the scorers. I come on, with a bowler such as Bhuvi Kumar, surely you just have a little look to get the pace of the pitch. That's, I think, just dereliction of duty, really.
Yeah, he should have probably left that when it was coming across him, as most of the deliveries had. And it actually did quite a bit off the seam, and hence the inside edge onto the stumps. But loose shot to play early doors, that.
Very much so.
Dr. Dan has joined us.
Hello, Dr. Dan.
Sent us some doggerel.
Hey!
I shall read it. It goes like this. Yesterday England scored too few. So what is on today's menu? One team will have to say adieu. The other to Sunday goes through. There'll be a vast hullabaloo if the losing team plays in blue, but don't trust feeling déjà vu and just wait for what will ensue. Guerrilla cricket's great value and free to every one of you. But they are short of revenue. Be part of their Patreon crew.
Hey, wonderful stuff. Thank you, Dr. Dan.
Patreon details above Hendo's head.
If you're watching on Facebook, if you're not watching on Facebook, don't, because we don't look that good. But also, if you want to give us some money and help us out, which would be very gratefully received, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket, 1R, 2 Ls. And you can give what you want per month. It could be as little as $1. It could be as much as 1,000. But no one's done that so far. New batsman.
Say $1 million.
$1 million, all right, $1 million. New batsman at the crease.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Nodded off a second.
With the beautiful eyes. A man with the beautiful eyes. Will his beautiful eyes help him score runs? After this ball, new over. Down the leg side, I think that's... Well, I thought that came off a thigh pad. It might have been a bit of bat, and there's rather
so much to do now.
Pathetic piece of fielding by Bhuvi down at long leg, which has brought 4 runs. And
it's me, she.
Hey, I found that one.
Hey. Now, I'm not a big fan of hip hop and that sort of stuff, but I do like it in jingles.
It's a lovely jingle, isn't it?
I know.
Maybe you just take it in very small quantities. So yes, new batsman.
35 cents a pack, 3 for $1, unbelievable pricing. That's the future of a blue-collar worker, and I'm talking about ramen.
And we have a new bowler, who I'll give you after this.
He's coming round the wicket to the left-handed Tamim Iqbal, and he presses forward in front of his pad and manages to work this one round the corner down to long leg, and they pick up another single, 6 for 1.
New bowler's this man.
On jazz breed, boomer, I find myself lifted to the sky. Lifted up above the world to see.
bowling from the Birmingham end. I'm trying to remember what the other end is. Is it just the pavilion end?
It must be the Eric Hollies.
No, the Eric Hollies is off to the left. So, yeah. That's a very empty main stand, isn't it?
Oh, that's very disappointing.
It's almost as
did
if-
see some lines outside before, so
Yeah, there
maybe
were.
people are queuing to get in.
Well, they are, and I suppose that they just don't leave enough time, do they? People think I can just walk up there and get in, but these days, as big sporting events, that just doesn't happen.
And it's very disappointing how they handled the ticket allocation and
Oh, yes.
you can't buy walk-ups and all that sort of stuff.
Sabir waits for the next ball and drives square on the offside. Lovely stroke. Goes all the way to the cover boundary for one of these. Oh, that's a very disrespectful way to greet Jasprit Bumrah, Mr. Sabir.
A whole bunch of tweets have come in.
Yeah, what, did you expect them to be read out or something?
Clovis the Apostate says, yes, on reflection, a dismal exit for India superpower number 1 might produce an interesting final between East and West Pakistan. Messi Jess says, Australian anthem is a dog. Enjoy this instead. And he sends us a YouTube link, which I can't open on this computer. Neil Franklin says, I'm supporting the tie. There's far too much of this winning and losing nonsense.
Yes, indeed. Jasprit in again. Oh, beaten him! Or has he got a little inside edge? Jasprit thinks he has. He's got his hands in the air. Good catch by, well, I say good take, actually, by Dhoni diving away to his left. But that was a great reply from Jasprit, going between bat and pad.
More anthem news.
A little bit of nip there. Look at that nip on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rene Kita says Biafra had Sibelius's Finlandia as their national anthem.
Biafra.
They were annihilated. Clearly a good anthem is tempting fate. And George Young, I agree with this absolutely, says the Italian anthem is superb, both jaunty and pompous at the same time.
Yes.
So a bit like Berlusconi, really. Here comes Bumrah again. Wide of the off-stump, he crashes at this, flies through fourth slip down to third man when Boovie fields. Well, Sabir's not standing on ceremony, is he? He's gone to 5 from 3. Tamim has 6 from 6. It's 11 for 1 with one ball of the second over to go.
Clovis the Apostate says Sculthorpe was an Australian composer. Like most right-minded Australians, I agree it's musical dog shit. Why don't they use Waltzing Matilda? Everybody would sing along to that.
Yeah. Why don't we use the Archers, as suggested by Billy Connolly years ago?
2 slips for Tamim Iqbal as Bumrah comes in to complete his first over. It's a short delivery, which he draws his bat inside. It goes through to Dhoni, and that is the end of the over. 10 runs from Bumrah's first over.
Tester Sid says Sabir Rahman does have some fantastic
he sent
eyes.
that picture.
doesn't he?
He sent that picture. I'm retweeting it.
Now it's Bhuvi Kumar
mesmerising.
bowling to his eye rival.
Do you think they will sort of stare each other out?
It'd be like in
World
Big
Stare-Out
Train, the World
Champions.
Stare-Out
So
Championship.
Boovie will come in and he'll think, I've got the world's most beautiful eyes. He'll run in, he'll see a man with more beautiful eyes.
Something's got to give.
Well, exactly.
I don't think he'll accept that they are more
Well, no,
beautiful
but
eyes.
it's surely going to make him
The universe
double
could
take,
implode.
isn't it?
It's gonna
Exactly.
Yeah, looking forward to that. By the way, would you describe Berlusconi as jaunty?
No.
It's not-
Well,
it's not-
jaunty in the sense that
he has had his jaunty
he jaunts around
episodes.
Yes, exactly.
Smarty says, sorry, I may have jinxed the Bangles. Rabbi Nair says, tried Facebook Live, but Wi-Fi too dodgy to cope. Should be supporting India, but I'd be happy if Eternal Flame makes it instead.
Hey.
Right.
Just another manic Thursday.
2 slips, a ring of 3 on the offside, 2 on the leg side, a mid-wicket and a mid-on. There was a little bit of rain in the air again as well, I think.
dark.
Almost like a hazy shade of winter.
What is that incredible little raincoat that the umpires have got in? Little yellow raincoat. Bowls to Rahman, and no one wins the battle there of the eyes, because that's just defended straight back to him. But they have 5 balls to go. What will give?
Nitin Bajaj says, hello,
Nitin.
folks. Ambivalent about how excited I should be about this game. On paper, India should win it in a canter, but eek. And Shravan Reddy says, while listening to Sri Lankan anthem, there'll be 4 to 5 times one would think that it's going to end, but it doesn't.
Yes,
Too
exactly.
long.
I wonder whether they've just played it twice at the Oval. This one is pushed out into the offside towards backward point, and there is no run.
And Truson Marcus, who is a new name on me, says, as an Indian, I must say, if we get through this one, Pakistan are likely to be invincible. The bowling lineup.
Well, I wonder what they'll do with that bowling lineup if Mohammed Amir is fit. Presume they'll bring him back in for Aruman.
Ray East.
Ray East.
Yeah.
But he did himself no damage yesterday, the way he bowled. Down the wicket comes
yes.
the beautifully eyed one, and he lifts this over extra cover mid-off, and it runs away to the boundary for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I love the random jazz in the background of that one.
Yeah, that's a bit of sort of big Big Spiderbeck, isn't it?
If you say so. Trad.
You must remember the
I know the name.
Beiderbecke
I know
affair.
the name,
Do
yeah,
you not
but-
remember James Bolam in the Beiderbecke affair?
Oh, no, James Bolam.
He played this teacher who was into jazz. Do you not remember that?
I don't think I've seen it. I'm
Barbara
afraid.
Flynn.
No, I remember the likely
In
ad.
fact, they used to film it down the road that I lived in Leeds. I came out and he had his little yellow van. This is worked through square leg. My claims to fame are pathetic, aren't they, really? They're going to get back for a second. Tamim running to the danger end. Coley standing there waiting to receive the ball.
A little yellow van was the unsuccessful Joni Mitchell.
Joni Mitchell.
follow-up.
I knew that was coming.
Talking of terrible claims to fame, I once asked Hugh Laurie for one across in the Telegraph crossword, which
Did he get it?
Which he duly gave me, and then I finished said crossword.
Oh, my... No, did you win a prize?
Only in my own mind.
Was it on the tube?
No,
What-
it
what-
was at Shepperton Studios.
What were you doing there?
I was. It was my first ad that I worked on for British Gas, featuring Mrs. Merton. It was directed by John Lloyd.
Boovie. Oh, that really
That
comes back.
missing
There's a big
leg.
appeal, but I think that's one too high, two going down the leg side. But it did nip considerably into the batsman. 17 for 1, Bangladesh. 1 ball to go in the third over.
Mog, the jingler extraordinaire,
Moggo.
says, Waltzing Matilda is about a vagrant thief who commits suicide when confronted with justice. Pretty fucking tip-top stuff.
Yeah.
And,
You've got to save the Queen, doesn't it?
And very well representative of the nation.
Ooh, fighting talk.
And Jonah Jones says why it's not the national anthem, because it would be sung, I shag Matilda, I shag Matilda, I shag Matilda, and so did my mate.
Yeah.
Another beautiful drive. It's the placement that you've got to admire there from Sabir. And that, although not racing across the boundary, across the outfield, will still go for 4. 21 for 1. Sabir's on the charge. End of the over.
Well,
3
right,
gone.
yeah, some lovely shots he's unleashed in recent times.
Yes.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie was filming 101 Dalmatians in the studio next door, and he wandered in. He's a very tall chap, which many people don't realise because you're used to seeing him standing next to Stephen Fry, who's even taller.
Yes.
But Hugh Laurie is about 6'4" or 5" in his own right.
Really?
And he was wearing a top hat and sort of tramp-style clothing for whatever role he was playing in that film. And he came into our studio silhouetted, and I thought, my God, who's this monster? And then he approached John Lloyd, obviously knew him very well from Blackadder days, and they had a little chat, and I saw he'd finished the crossword under his arm. And I said, have you got one across, Hugh? He said, yeah, do you want it?
That was good translation. That was very good. And what was the clue? Do you remember?
No.
Oh, that was the punchline to the...
Well, yeah, I could make one up for you.
Make one up,
Make one up, yeah.
Work on that anecdote.
Bumrah to start his second over. The rain is a steady drizzle, it would appear now. Can't be easy to bowl or bat in this. What's a lovely delivery. That was angled into him, and then it nipped off the pitch. This is difficult for Bangladesh. This is a good toss to win, I would suggest. They remain 21 for 1.
Shravan Reddy agrees that Advance Australia affair is terrible, and Greg says, as a country, we glorify a criminal in Ned Kelly. It's probably fitting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
We do the same with Dick Whittington and Robin Hood, so it doesn't really... Dick Whittington? Dick Turpin. Dick Whittington. He was an absolute dog.
Lord Mayor of London.
Well, I don't know. There are plenty of dodgy Lord Mayors of London. This is turned down to long leg.
Sorry, Dick, if you're listening.
That Whittington.
And Smouty says, Beiderbecke affair was fantastic.
It was, thank
Huge
you.
crush on Barbara Flynn.
Oh, Barbara Flynn.
there
She was
must be a
wonderful.
box set somewhere.
She was one of those just sort of nice women.
Wendy Craig.
You wanted
Nice.
to corrupt.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a Wendy Craig.
No, she wasn't Wendy Craig. No, Wendy Craig was too sort of, I don't know, mumsy for me.
One of my teenage crushes was Sue Cook off Crime Watch.
Oh, yes, I'll go with you on that.
She'd be in that same category.
Yes, she would be
Just
in that,
nice
Sue Cook,
and
yeah.
sort of a bit mumsy.
Yeah. Although, no, you see, I'm not too keen on mumsy, but I think she's just left of mumsy.
Yeah,
see what I mean?
Well,
Yeah, no.
I could imagine her wearing an apron at the Arga.
Oh, blimey. Defended by Sabir Rahman.
And
back to the
nothing
bowler.
The Argy Khan.
This is Perv's. This is Perv's minute on Guerrilla Cricket, I'm afraid to say.
Well, I'm pleased to say, getting back to the cricket, having lost an early wicket, I'm pleased to say Bangladesh have A, not lost another wicket, and B, not gone into their shell. They're playing their shots, and
It's
sometimes an early wicket when you're the underdog in a semi-final can play
Kill
on
the
you.
game, can't it?
Yeah.
just one slip now for him. He goes back to this one again. I think there was a little bit of straightening. Shikhar Dhawan's very short there at cover. Definitely trying to cut off the single there, or maybe the extra close fielder, because you have to have two, of course, don't you, in the first 10 overs, and they've only got the one slip.
I would like to see Shikhar grow his strongman tash back and wax it at the edges again.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
His Bollywood villain
Yeah.
moustache.
Here's Bumrah galloping up to the crease, comes down the wicket and lifts this, gets enough on it over the top of mid-off. And again, although it's not racing into the boundary, it has got enough on it to go there.
And now that I've found this one, I'm not going to let it go.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Lovely work.
That's great.
Also useful if we go to Japan.
Yes. Well, of course, that might be one of the stop-off points on the way to Australia.
That would add a few grand to the bill.
Yeah, it would have been.
Messi Jazz says, Hendo's next book, Diary of an Almost Extra in a B-grade movie.
Yes.
Rain
right.
should clear soon. And Little Bajaj says, the more overs lost to rain, the more even the game gets. Effing English weather. Well, we haven't lost anything as yet.
Bumrah in again to Sabir. Sabir goes back, gets well in behind that. Good delivery, good technically a good defensive shot. And there is no run. That's the end of Bumrah's over. And it says none for 10 on there, but hang on. Didn't he have none for 10 after the first over? And didn't they just hit a 4? Something's not right there. Something is not right there. Oh, I see what it is. Tamim has lost his boundary to the fine leg area, which has turned out to be leg buys. So he's gone down to 2 from 6. And Sabir is on 19 from 13. It's 26 for 1 after 4 overs.
Knuckle Paddy says, just left of Mumsy, then second exit at the roundabout. And Smarty says, I think we have found our level. Hashtag crushing on slightly dangerous non-Mumsy types. And Jonah Jones agrees the Italian national anthem is superb. I'll sing it for you in a minute.
Booby bowls to Tamim Iqbal, right arm over the wicket to left-handed batsman. Left-handed batsman really just takes that on the thigh, to be honest, and there's no run.
It's got a whole second bit as well. At
least 2 movements.
What do you think about the
Birdie, I think.
the ICC Champions Trophy umpire anorak? I quite like it.
No,
I think they look like fishermen.
It's a bit too Scarborough beachfront in the cold, isn't it?
Okay. Boovy in again, down the leg side. Oh, and he tried to clip that on his way, but a horrible leading edge, but it's skewed away through the slips, down to the third man boundary, and Tamim has that 4 back. He's gone to 6.
Keep it leg by, just getting more annoyed.
I do feel good at the beginning of a morning, but it gradually wears off.
That's life.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I remember being batting once and getting one down to that area, and I definitely hit it, or I might have clipped it down to leg. It was probably a lovely fine leg glance, knowing me.
And the umpire signalling.
Leg glance. I got at the other end, and I actually called him a Bradman.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, so I hit that, you Bradman.
Bit harsh. Boovy into Tamim again. Tamim goes onto the back foot. They're going to come through for a run. It's slightly risky, but they're going to get there, despite the throw coming in.
Bear in mind,
Kohli wants to know why he wasn't quicker, the man to the ball, and who's he taking it on? Rohit Sharma, I think, barking some sort of order or annoyance at him.
bear in mind that umpire was one of my own teammates, so I did at least know him.
Well, the leg glance is one of the few shots I actually play well, and when you do it really well, it looks. It can confuse umpires. It's very annoying when they see
particularly the sort of blind bastards I had in my team.
Yeah, but so the bottom line is, of course, it's a team game, and personal performances don't matter in the least. 4 runs in the book.
Precisely.
Of course.
It's exactly what I reconciled.
Yeah,
about a second later.
Egos. Boovi into Rahman, who's back watching this closely. He defends with nice soft hands back down the pitch.
And then you take the scorebook home.
What, and doctor it?
Yeah. Tip-X out.
Yeah. Turns out there were no leg buys all season. But,
well, I was...
One person got an extra 64 runs.
I was tossing and turning this morning, or it might have been sometime in the middle of the night, worrying about whether Gorilla have got enough, in fact, not enough, but any medium-pace bowlers for the big game.
Oh, dear.
As fast as that.
Boovi, short ball, Rahman goes underneath it. Yeah, I mean, no one's actually told me what they do, and well, a few people have, and those ones that have told me are all batsmen.
Oh, Sock is a seam-up bowler,
Is
isn't
he? Sock a seam-up bowler?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's away on holiday.
Shame. Bloody shame.
Bloody Aussies, they take holidays as if they're...
In the middle of their winter.
That is what they call a Bloody Mary, isn't it, with no vodka in it?
Yeah.
A bloody shame.
Bloody shame. Or bloody shame. It's very, very dark out there. The black clouds behind the floodlights. Comes down the wicket, tries to then pull it. Has he got an edge to that? No, I don't know where Dhoni's going. He's going for a run. What was he doing? He's running over to see the umpire at square leg.
He's keeping the blood moving.
It's the end of the 5th over. Bangladesh, having been put into bat, are 31 for 1.
We have a couple of tweets. Jack Pryor says, "Evening all.
Evening.
Your background nattering is helping me through the marking I'm working on. Just give them all A's. And Knuckle Panda says the umpire's yellow mac is from the Gary Naylor winter range for gentlemen motor bicyclists.
Oh, yes, that's a good
It's
point. I
so
forgot
is.
about
Not
that.
quite that yellow, though, is it?
Oh, it's fairly yellow, yeah. I don't think it's quite as... There's a sort of creaminess about
It's a mucky
Gary's
yellow. It's like a sort of mustardy yellow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not your full canary yellow.
No.
But it's more orangey than that.
Bumrah around the wicket to Tammy Mickmel, who comes forward, defends a good length delivery on the front foot.
And Jack Pryor says, I'm an Aussie, and most of us think our national anthem is rubbish. The Argentinian one is fantastic and bombastic. I think you may be confusing the Brazilian one for the Argentinian one, which isn't fantastic or bombastic.
I like these descriptions of national anthems. Fantastic and bombastic is what an anthem should be. And was it
should be the Jamaican national anthem.
And was it George who described it as jaunty and pompous?
Jaunty, the Italian, yeah. If you want a jaunty one, check out the Philippines. That is really jaunty.
Bumrah in again, flicked away off his pads by Tamim. Straight to square leg, doesn't get a run.
And as an additional bonus, it's not one you're likely to hear very much at the World Cup or the Olympics. So
Certainly not the World Cup.
No, Mark Zip says, I guess the reason we all love the Italian national anthem so well is because of Formula One and a particular team's winning ways.
No.
Football, I think, more.
I don't like Formula One anyway, so I wouldn't know what they play at the beginning or the end. Bumrah in again, once more, played off his legs, but Kedar Yadav is in position at square leg, does the fielding, and there is no run.
And some good news for you, Hendo. Messi just has found the Biederbeck box set.
Brilliant.
DVD from $20, that sounds reasonable.
I think
That does sound reasonable. Well, I'll tell you what, just take the shortfall, what you were expecting to pay, and make that an extra donation to us.
I
Thanks
must
very
say,
much.
I actually, that kind of music, the Biederbeck type music, is not my favourite sort of jazz
No.
by any stretch of the imagination. Lovely ball from Jasper. He gets it to jump off the pitch and away from the left-handed Tammy Mick. Ball goes through the keeper.
Another one of these.
It's like the kick of a donkey that ball had. Didn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember
Kick
the
of a donkey.
Philippine ones. It's annoying.
Don't look at me, Fred. More fun in the Philippines. That's their tourism slogan. My mate worked on that campaign and wrote a book about it.
Not if you're a drug dealer these days.
No.
No,
Not much
I think
fun.
that's implicit.
No.
Bumrah in, bowl short. Oh, I thought it was a short ball. He seemed to bring his arm over very quickly, but it's decent length and it's defended back to the
They
bowler.
did consider an alternative strapline. The Philippines, a terrible place to go to prison.
Yes.
Are you suggesting we shouldn't stop off on the Philippines on the way to Australia?
I think we'll bypass the Philippines.
It's got to be Vegas, isn't it?
Oh, we're going to
Is
go
it
that
on the
way. are
way?
we? Is that the way
It's
to go?
not really on the way, is
the
it?
long way round.
Way back, on the way back, maybe.
Or LA, LA.
God, what state will we be in when we come back?
California.
Defended into the covers.
Well,
There is no run. I
if
can't imagine
somebody-
it's going to be pretty.
If somebody does offer us £1 million, then we'll be flying first class and we'll be in quite a good state.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that can't protect you from germs on the plane.
Germans.
Germs
I'll
on
tell
the
you,
plane.
I'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, indeed.
No, there's no germs in first class, mate. Shravan Reddy says, I reckon they should ban England from hosting cricket. Not because of the security threat, but the effing weather.
Well, there is that. It's been a really rotten June, hasn't it, so far?
Well, except look out the window and it's 30 degrees and bright sunshine. I'm glad I'm indoors.
It's like we're living in totally different lands, isn't it? Sydenham and Birmingham.
Well, in some respects. Jacques Pryor takes me up on my comment. He says, no, definitely the Argentinian anthem. Heard it before a rugby test and an operatic tenor sang it and absolutely nailed it. And Smouty sends you a picture, I assume that's of your woman from the Biederbeck tapes.
It is. That's Barbara Flynn. It's Barbara Flynn.
Very pleasant.
Here comes Boovie. Down the wicket comes Roman and then tries to pull the ball that's dropped in short, but it's got too big on him or he's got too near to it and he can't make contact. Through the keeper it goes.
Sabir currently winning the Battle of the Eyes.
The Battle of the Eyes is it's really taken off here. I think this is possibly the crucial moment of the match.
Reminds me of another line from Big Train where a Mark Heap character playing a sort of Ming the Merciless type character goes, throw him into the pit of eyes.
That is quite sinister. He's in again, and this is defended on the front foot by Sabir, and there's a ring of 4 on the offside. That Shikadawan is square at cover, but he's very, very short. There's a backward point who's on the edge of the circle. There's an extra cover and a mid-off.
That was the less successful Johnny Cash
What was that?
follow-up, the ring of 4.
Ring of 4.
Clovis the Apostate weighs in on anthems and says, my favourite is the shortened Uruguayan anthem as played at football games. 19th century Italian composer, great rousing lyrics.
All right.
Well,
okay.
if you speak Uruguayan.
They don't speak Uruguayan, do they? Speak Spanish, don't they? Slower ball, I thought, this time from Bouvi, but very watchful from Sabir, who defends it with the full face of the bat into the covers.
74 mph. Well, you are going to watch it if you've got eyes like that.
That's true, that's true.
7 dot balls now.
He said, hey, so you think you've got such great eyes? Watch me bowl a slower ball, then we'll see what great eyes you've got.
I wonder if they're trying to hypnotise each other.
That could be, couldn't it? Look into my eyes. No, look into my eyes. No, look into my eyes.
Messengers has a great idea. Maybe you could persuade Northants to release Stephen Crook for the Guerrilla Cricket versus Guardian
I
match.
had thought that, but I think Northants have got a game that day.
Selfish.
I know. Short ball, which is ducked under by Sabir. Ian O'Brien. Well, yes. That's a possibility, isn't it?
Tim Murtaugh. He plays for anyone. I mean, he turns out for Ireland, for Christ's sake.
Trouble is, these people, they always want money, don't they? They always want money.
We all want money.
We all want money, but some of us will do things for nothing. It's for a good cause, absolutely. Well, we are trying to get Mike Selvey to bowl the ceremonial first ball,
which is a new thing we've just invented.
Because that's probably all he can manage at his age. He's not young, is he? Well, he's younger than some.
No, but he can bowl.
He can bowl, that's true.
I've heard tell.
Does he still bowl? That's the question. Bouvi in. Oh, swinging delivery. Caught at backward point. Swinging delivery. He went after it, played the cut shot, didn't really need to, and it's a simple enough catch.
That was a plan.
Backward point. Was it a plan? I'm not sure, but they've certainly got Sabir with that delivery. He's gone for 19 off 21, and that is a shame for Bangladesh. Oh, the mistimed cut is a horrible thing, isn't it?
I think lots of credit to the Indian bowlers there. They kept him quiet. He raced away to 19 off 12, I think, and then he faced 7 or 8 dot balls, and it just frustrated him a bit, and he just didn't time that wide one.
Yeah, the wide swinging, slightly slower ball.
Yeah,
he got a bit of a send off there from the bowler as well.
Did he?
Well, I don't think it was a send-off. I think it was just a sort of glee of having taken the wicket. It was Jadeja who took the catch, and it wasn't. It was just mistimed, wasn't it? So it wasn't racing towards him. It was quite comfortable.
Should have done a celebration where he put his hands over his eyes like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get out. So he's won the Battle of the Eyes.
He has.
He's still the supreme eye holder.
I'd say so. Yeah, Joss Butler in third position on that particular podium.
Yeah. Any more votes? Who's outside the top 3 for eyes? Bob Woolmer had lovely eyes.
Oh, dear old Bob.
Which you'll know about if you read my piece that allegedly is going to the next Night Watchman, but I haven't heard anything, so it probably isn't.
Oh dear.
Follow it up.
Nitin Bajaj says, so Bouvi and Sabir didn't see eye to eye.
Hey.
We have a new follower, Deepak Gavt.
Welcome, Deepak.
Hello there.
Has he tweeted in, or do you know his...
No, just a follower.
Tweet in, Deepak.
Doesn't always mean because someone follows us that they're actually listening.
No.
Or actually a person, in many respects.
New batsman at the crease. This is an important little stand, I would say, for Bangladesh. The former wicketkeeper in Test match cricket, wicketkeeper in this form of the game, and captain at Test level is this man. And Bouvi comes in to complete his over. He defends up to mid-off, and there is no run.
What are they going to do now then? Just play circumspectly for a little while, which might mean they end up, if these two sit and stay together, I mean, these two average
38.
both, these two have strike rates in the 70s, both of them, which is not...
It's not stunning, is it?
It's not superb. It might mean they sort of limp along and get somewhere like 230, 240.
Which wouldn't be much of a game.
Which may not be.
Well, I think Tamim has found himself having to play this role in 3 out of the 4 games that Bangladesh have played. He pushes away at one, perhaps leaving him slightly, but guides it down to third man for a single. He goes to 8. Tamim has found himself playing these situations, and he's ended up getting good scores, 129 and 95, was it, I think, against Australia, but perhaps not as quickly as he would like, because he's had to sort of keep wickets intact when they've lost early ones. And in fact, if he'd left that one, it had been a wide, surely.
Might well have been, yeah.
It was around about the line for guidance. No wonder Kohli's so excited by it.
Because we've talked fairly extensively on this programme about Tamim Iqbal and how when he burst onto the scene he was a bit of a dasher and very, very exciting.
Bumrah bowls. Rahim comes forward and pushes up to mid-off. There's no rush.
So I, for one, was quite surprised to see that his strike rate's only around about 78 in ODI cricket.
Pretty funny, strike rate in Test cricket is about 130.
Yeah, but then the theory goes that as he's grown into the side and become a senior player, he has more responsibility on his shoulders, and it's been demonstrated in this competition that that's how he has chosen to play and maybe how he's had to play in order to get Bangladesh up to respectable totals.
Here's Bumrah again to Rahim. Rahim defends a good length ball. It's angled in towards his middle and leg stumps. And just as the camera pulled back then, I did see that the skies are opening. They're opening, and blue is appearing over Edgbaston.
That's different. The skies are opening to the heavens are opening.
Yes, it is. The skies are opening. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And Niti Bajaj says, no, I read that. The Ravi Nair says, so the eyes don't have it. Theresa May should watch out. Tester Sid, I think we should ban him.
Why?
He says, we all know who has the number one eyes in world cricket, number one in everything, and they sent a picture of...
Not Steve Smith.
Defended square on the offside into the covers, and there's no run.
Not just Steve Smith, but Steve Smith with a halo.
You can't actually see his eyes in that picture.
Yeah, it's Greg, isn't it? Is the other name that Tester Sid goes by.
Yeah. I think his eyes are not so much nice as killer.
Greg with 2 G's, like the pastry shop.
No, just 1 G. Way Pom Pom says, just in Helsinki, rather nice here. He does get about.
I thought that was a man, just in Helsinki.
Pushed on the up and well fielded by the man at cover, or extra. I think it was Kedar Jadav.
Ajay Rahul is not a fan of our jingles. Seriously, those mini songs are really cheesy and ridiculous. Yep, that's the way we like them.
Hi, Ajay. Welcome to the show.
Jonah Jones has changed his name. I don't think I'm going to read it.
The thing is, Ajay, it's like listening to an eclectic radio station. If you don't like what's on at the moment, there'll be something else along soon that you might like.
This is true.
Tell us the type of music you like and we'll find a jingle that suits.
Oh, he's gone after that one and it's gone away from him, Rahim. It's beaten all ends up. And it's taken by Dhoni. It's the end of the 8th over. A struggle for Bangladesh, 32 for 2. Tamim has only managed 8 from 19. Mushfiqur yet to get off the mark. And they've lost Soumya and Sabir, I'm afraid to say.
Another absolute peach there from Bumrah, who has been a tad unlucky, I'd say, with the number of wickets. He's only got 2 wickets in the tournament, both of those against South Africa the other day. And I'm not just saying that because I tipped him up to be top bowler at the start of the tournament.
And you're not just saying that because you've got that right in front of you now, are you?
No.
What the 2 wickets, yeah.
No, the 2 wickets I just happen to know because I've been following his progress because I tipped him up.
It's easy to remember when somebody has 2 wickets and you're counting them.
Well, also the other thing, the other thing is that he bowled his first over and it went for 10, and he's come back from that and conceded only 1 run from the next 3, which is astonishing. Bhuvi has been, well, almost equally.
Yeah, they've both been good.
Accurate. 2 for 16 or 4. He starts his 5th over. Tamim just drops this into the offside behind the stumps, looking for a quick single, but there isn't one there. They're really turning the screw here, India, aren't they? It's very tight, I'm afraid, at the moment for Bangladesh.
Beautiful seam position.
Yep, and just look at it go, and it kept going, didn't it? Once it had beaten him off the pitch, it swung in the air as Dhoni took it away to his right.
That was the Bumrah, last delivery of Bumrah's previous over. Superb, proud seam position.
Smouty gets all serious. He says, all the talk of the sky opening reminds me that it's National Clean Air Day.
Oh, how lovely. Bhumi into Tamim, who taps this away off his thigh to mid-wicket. He can't seem to find the gap at the moment. 8 off 21. National Clean Air Day. Probably not in London, I'm afraid.
He says, use the side streets, people. 20% reduced exposure. I'll remember that when I'm driving my diesel car down the side.
Certainly when you're walking.
It's a very good point. Well, I don't know why we're having to see the last over that Bhuvi bowled. I suppose they're making a point on telly about how clever it was.
Yeah, I suppose the wicket-taking delivery in isolation wasn't the greatest ball.
It was a terrible ball.
But
it looked like
he bowled such
a tight line and length previously that batsman's eyes lit up and fell for it.
Well, that's being used as a tactic now, isn't it? That's, again, worked round the corner on the onside by Tamim. He runs the first one quickly, hoping to get back for a second. I think it's Ravi Ashwin down there fielding. Tamim moves to 9. Bangladesh to 33 for 2.
Jaco Maverick says, how about some American country genre jingles?
Yeah, we've got 1 or 2 in there, I think.
I have to say, I'm not a big...
We've got one in...
Not a big fan.
One of Mog's 4 jingles is a bit diddly-diddly, deliverance kind of thing.
And as Mark Sipp says, as I used to say on my radio show, don't like this song, wait 5 minutes, I'll play another one.
Precisely, Zippo. Precisely what I was trying to articulate, and you did so beautifully.
Bouvi in again. Oh, he's come down the wicket, Mushfiqur, and he's got lucky there. He's got a bottom edge, and that could have easily crashed into his stumps, but he felt he needed to do something in this power play, and that's run away very fine for 4.
I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4.
You'd think if you were that innumerate, you wouldn't boast about it.
That's a lovely review of that song.
You really would, wouldn't you?
Jonah Jones has, I think, what the youngsters call been fraped. Says, sorry for the name change. That was the missus making a point. 1-0 to her. But it was a backhanded compliment because she changed the name to Enormous Cock.
Oh, lovely shot from Mushfiqur. That's much better and much more what we associate with the Sri Lankan Test captain. That's run away to the boundary at extra cover for one of these.
1,
No, not that one again.
2, 3,
I'm going to try another one after this.
4. 4.
Stays very leg-sidey, doesn't he, Mushfiqur? He's taking
1, 2, 3, 4. The slight difficulty, dear listeners, that we have with these new 4 jingles from Mog is that they've all been labelled 4 Mog, so you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolate.
Here's Bouvi again to complete his 5th over. He's gone after this one with the cut shot. There's a lovely shot. Got right on top of the bounce, controlled it, and struck it away for a 3rd consecutive boundary. I do hope Mushfiqur's going to score lots of runs today because I like watching him bat. He's a lovely player when he's on song.
Yeah,
and it's not easy for a man. He's quite slight and quite small to get on top of the bounce there. He did it really well.
Beautiful looking square cut. Yeah, hit it right on top of the bounce and got over it, as you say.
Messi just says, cheesy and ridiculous is pretty much the target for jingles, isn't it? Funny too, some of them, he says, damning with faint praise. And Nitin Bajaj says, agree that we need more country jingles. There is Moeen.
Oh, there is.
But we also need Bouvi, don't take your love.
Oh, that would
down.
be good, wouldn't it? That would be a good one. That was the first single I ever bought. This is played backward as square on the offside by Tamim as Bumrah starts his 5th over. So no changes to the bowling yet because they're bowling, well, until that last over, pretty accurately.
Jacob Maverick comes back and says, okay, screw the country jingle. The Disturbed jingle just made my day. I like your style. And Shravan Reddy says, talking about eyes, how can you beat this man? And he sends pictures of Murali. Well, the trouble with his eyes was they were not within the 15 degree of tolerance.
Snake eyes.
Tamim's trying to turn this onto the onside again. He gets turned around slightly by Jasper, who's straightening the ball really well from that angle round the wicket to the left-hander.
Murali
fails to score.
Beg your pardon. Murali always reminded me of a snake. Just the way he eyed up his prey. Yeah, and bamboozled and
slightly evil grin as if he knew how he was going to bamboozle you.
Exactly, yeah.
Bumrah in again around the wicket. Oh, he tries to whip this away on the onside, but it wraps him on the thigh pad, and he fails to make contact with the bat. There is no run.
Nakul Pandey takes issue with your perceptions, Grubby. He says, looking at Tamim's record, never been quick. Strike rate of 62 after his first year, improved year on year till 2011, then plateaued.
But I bet, though...
Is that in Test matches?
Yeah, but in Test matches, I bet if you looked at his strike rate in those Test matches against England, you would find they're probably quicker than what he's done in one-day cricket since. He does tuck this one away. He'll certainly get one. In fact, he's just jogging that single as the man at long leg comes around to field.
What I would say back to Nakul is you can frequently prove my little theories wrong with a little research and some knowledge. But I think I must have seen him a very short sample of his batting early in his career, in which he was very quick and very attacking and aggressive and exciting to watch. So that may not have been representative of his overall record at that time, but certainly what I saw of him, that's what I took out of it.
Well, we will have a change, a 3-man change at the end of this over. Bumrah's into Mushfiqur, who clips this up to mid-on, and there's no run. 46 for 2 with 1 ball of the power play remaining. I thought we were having 3 men in. No, it's just 2. So Grubby's going to come in and do ball by ball. As we look at the pitch volcano, which I don't like. I was just going to talk about, did you see that that they had given Sabir shot timing analysis of 68% of the ball that he got out to?
I don't know what that means.
Is that a good 68% or a bad 68%? Busfield's here as well, so there'll be lots of jollity. He's brought his caffeine with him, and he's wearing an absolutely splendid shirt today. One of the best, I think. That's the end of the over. It's 46 for 2. It's time for a change, and Grubby will probably be the next voice you hear.
Che Guevara, Sangakara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, Guerrilla Cricket.
Bangladesh have ambled their way to 46 for 2 after the first 10 overs of this semi-final in Birmingham. We had some cloud cover early doors. It's now looking much brighter and everyone's much happier. And hopefully the crowd will reflect that and they'll take their seats. Mr. Busfield is with us in the tweet seat over there.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you.
Looking resplendent in the Hawaii 5-0.
Thank you very much.
And Bhuvi Kumar starts a new over, and Tamim gives him the charge and attempts to whack him back over his head, but does not make contact through to the keeper. And in the jingle chair, it's Nestle Boy.
Good morning.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm just admiring these fantastically designed posters that someone's knocked up.
If you're watching us on Facebook Live, you'll see all the Patreon details above my head here, and you can certainly go on to Patreon /Gorilla Cricket and give us a few quid.
Must have cost a fortune to get those done.
Yeah.
Crikey.
I mean, it's a unique typeface that we've bought there, invented by Mark Zipp, who's been in the show a couple of times this week. And
I'm pissed off that I missed Mark. I was going to talk vinyl with him and stuff.
This is on leg stump and just pushed back to him by Tamim, no run.
We could have bored the pants off everyone talking about records.
Well, you might have to do it remotely. And Zippo has been listening this morning and tweeting in. So any obscure vinyl chat you want to have with Nestle Boy, get a room. That's what I'd say.
Well, one of my Stones people died yesterday, Anita Pallenberg, Keith Richards' ex.
Sorry to hear that.
She died yesterday.
Bhuvi Kumar bowls one on middle and off, and Tamim is coming forward and steering this into the onside, and there's no run again. No run in the first 3 balls of this 11th over. It's 46 for 2.
She was part of it all back in the 60s. In fact, I think wife to 3 of his sons.
There's a fantastic... You ever watch Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip? Which was Aaron Sorkin's follow-up to The West Wing. Which includes a whole episode in which one of the characters stars in a film about Anita Pallenberg.
What's that called?
Just one minor point. Is she wife to his 3 kids or mother to his 3 kids?
Sorry, mother.
Yeah. People will be... You know what they're like. Our listeners, they actually listen.
I had a stressful ride into here.
Tamim steers this one backward of points and beats the man there down towards third man. He's going to get a single this time.
Ground's filling up a bit.
If you're about to share the story of the bus, then you're going to sound like a grumpy old man.
Bucking bus, right? So there I was, coming from the West End, lovely sunny day in London. I've put a couple of pictures up for you all. And I'm on the top deck, front of the thing, beautiful, lovely, quiet. Me and the guy and his girls sitting there enjoying it. A whole fucking school of 7 and 8-year-olds got
kids on the bus.
And they all came up the top deck, and I was like, I actually got off on the next stop, waiting for the next bus. I was like, fuck.
7 or 8 years old, are they?
Bastards. Yeah.
Knife carrying age. Bhuvi's in again, and Mushakur goes back in his crease to play this one back to the bowl. There's no run. Good over this, just 1 run from it so far. There's 1 ball left in it. 47 for 2 is the score.
Kids are all right. Just keep the fucking things away from you, all right?
Yeah, I think it's all. I don't mind what anyone does really in this world, as long as it doesn't have a negative impact on anyone else in this world.
That's it.
Do whatever you like, otherwise.
They should ban them or something. I don't know. Strong and stable.
Yeah, I'm not sure you two are arguing the same thing here.
Possibly not.
But no.
Nestle Boy's advocating some sort of child-adult apartheid system.
Yes, definitely. Buses for me only.
That's why I hate buses. Mushfiqur ducks under this final ball of the 11th over from Bhuvi Kumar. It remains at 47 for 2 after 11.
I don't think it's buses I hate, it's the general public.
I was thinking this earlier on. Usually, if I'm sitting somewhere public, or just anywhere public, and I hear someone talk whom I've never met before, my default position and reaction is, oh, you twat. I usually hate people. Once I've met someone, my default position is more often than not, oh, you're all right, you.
Yeah, all right.
I was just sitting in a cafe before I came here having a coffee and just earwigging people's conversations thinking, shut up, you arseholes. They probably think they speak very highly of me, I'm sure.
Yeah, we don't know what the listeners are saying at this point. Actually, we do. We've got some tweets.
Hey.
Monk says, you should probably be careful saying things like, quote, kids got on the bus and I got off, close quotes.
We have a change of bowling. And it's going to be the number 1 test bowler in the world, certainly until recently. And a man who we've seen a lot of on this show over the last few months, Nestle Boy.
There's an Indian bowler fairly near to the gate.
Comes round the wicket to the left-handed Tamim, and Tamim plays it back to him, no run.
Ashwin. The best of his innings are as long as his name.
Chandran Ashwin floats one up on middle and off, and Tamim leans on this into the covers and gets a quick single. Turns to... Oh, no, straight on.
Is this going to be on a sort of at a low level volume all the way through the over?
That's one of my favourite lyrics in our jingles. Turns to the left, turns to the... Oh, no, straight on. And this is down the leg side, should be given a wide, that. And it is indeed signalled a wide.
I think India have got away with quite a lot of things not being called wides this morning. I mean, a lot of short stuff that that was quite hard to hit.
Ashwin again floats this one up on middle and off, and stretching forward in defence comes Tamim, no run.
And the last wicket, if he hadn't stretched out for it, it would have been a wide.
Could well have been, yeah. I think they set him up for that one, though, because Bhuvi Kumar had been bowling a really tight line of length to him. Just flew it a bit wider, and his eyes lit up, and that was the end of that, really. This one is late cut back down towards third man. It's just going to be another 1 to the total and to Tamim.
It was one of these, wasn't it?
Wide.
Yeah, still my favourite ever jingle, that one.
I need to come in one day and sort the menu out.
Oh, apparently it has been sorted. It's now alphabetical.
Yeah, I know. Still not. You have to think a bit, it's not good.
I think we need a company meeting.
I think we do. We need a diversity and inclusion session.
You know just the people for that, don't you, Nestle?
I just got an email
Training.
from work and setting up this diversity and inclusion. Oh, for fuck off.
Ashwin coming over the wicket to Mushfiqur. Mushfiqur coming forward in defence, back up to the bowler.
Only the people who are watching on Facebook Live can see what you're doing there.
There's been a rape up there. Get their attention. Ashwin again over the wicket to Mushfiqur Rahim, who turns this into the onside, and there's no run. A half-decent start there from Ashwin, just 2 runs from that over. It's 49 for 2 after 12.
Years ago, one of the major banks I worked at produced a booklet on it, and it was kind of cartoonish, to say the description of it. And HR sort of asked me about it. I said that I found it insulting.
Was it? It's sort of explaining large issues using childish means.
How
is that what
to
it was
talk to a black person or something, kind of along those lines. And I said, yeah, look, my mate David over there. Look at him. We talk all the time. We go to the pub and get pissed. I don't need a fucking book. Fuck off. Oh, I don't know.
And then, if you sit there at your desk and burn that book, then you're the bad guy all of a sudden.
I put it in the bin.
We have another change of bowling at the other end. Coming onto bowl is a right-arm fast-medium bowler, young man, making his way in the game. Very big talent, I would suggest. And you got him?
It's not in bloody action.
He's a hard man to choose.
He's grumpy this morning, Nestle, isn't he? His first ball from round the wicket is angled into Tamim, plays it back to him.
He's won awards for the best love. But it comes down to the pitch, and if it isn't a pitch, we're going to need his bowling.
I tuned into Facebook Live this morning of yesterday's broadcast just to try and find the Hendo rant.
Yeah, I'm afraid I didn't listen to the second half.
I couldn't really find it. I was struggling for time.
I was watching with a mate of mine in Covent Garden. I haven't seen him for ages, and I was patently not listening to him at all. This one is pulled by Tamim, but he does not get nearly all of it, and just sort of top edges it over short mid-wicket. Gets a rather fortunate 2 runs there.
Is that a pull or a hoik?
Yeah, it was an ugly-looking stroke.
Yeah.
Hoik.
It was a bit hoiky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If we're going to discuss the nightmare for England fans that was yesterday, we've got a great tweet on that subject.
Can we?
Roger McCann tweets in, strolling through Sophia Gardens this morning, at least I found myself a souvenir among the wreckage of English cricket. And he's got a picture of a ball that looks as if it was hit out of the ground.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
Beat that, Rog.
Hello, Roger. Lovely to have you with us. The beautifully voiced Roger McCann, who I think I've only ever met once. We just sort of passed each other as he was coming on to commentary and I was leaving the room. That's the only time we've actually met.
From Northern Ireland.
And I'd like to rectify that, Rog. Do come in at some point over the summer. I know you live fucking miles away now.
Cardiff,
in fact, yeah. Pandya bowls a ball of short length and Tamim attempts to whack this over the infield. It's just gone high up into the air and is bounced in front of the man running in there from the cover boundary. I thought it was going to be caught for a second, but it bounced, went miles up in the air. And he gets a rather fortunate 2 runs again. Moves on to 16, a rather sticky 16 from 37 deliveries so far.
No, it was caught. It was a free hit, I think.
Hang on a minute.
What's going on?
There was a no ball the previous ball. Okay, right.
Okay.
Apologies here, listeners. In all the excitement about lost balls and Roger McCann, we failed to notice that there was a no ball the previous ball, so that was a free hit. So all is well. This one is steered down by Tamim towards third man. He's going to pick up another single there. And Hardik Pandya has conceded 5 off his first 3 balls. The score is 54 for 2 halfway through the 13th over.
I was going to launch into one of my pet hates there, but now that it's a free ball, I won't.
Okay, I'm going to save that for later on.
If it happens.
You've come in, you've got a lot of baggage with you. I'm not talking about your Rolling Stones satchel. I'm talking about emotional baggage.
I know, it's just that whole bus thing threw me. It was perfect.
It's already been a hard day's night for you, isn't it?
I was loving it. It was lovely little bus ride over the Thames.
The diminutive Mushfiqur Rahim steers this one down to third man. He gets another single. Moves on to 13.
Greg tweets in reply to Mog, I didn't know Jimmy Savile was on the couch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. They're all interested. But your bus ride, your bus journey.
Kids got on and Nestle Boy got off.
Yes.
That's what Mog was taking issue with. And I think that says more about you, Mog, than it does about Nestle's.
I got off the bus.
Yes.
And waited for the next one, which was 5 minutes
You
after.
Disgorged. And this is dragged on by Tamim, but it's a no ball! Oh, dear. Will that prove costly? Probably not, but it's annoying for Hardik, and he's now bowled 2 no balls in this over. His skipper will be fuming.
Dear, oh dear.
Wow, so it's going to be another free hit. Tamim gets a life, and he's missed that, not by much, by a couple of inches.
But far enough.
But absolutely, yeah. A no ball is a no ball, whether it's a miss is as good as a mile, as my old man's fond of saying.
Nitin tweets in, did they run 1 short on the free hit? Looks like it. And I was thinking that. I thought they'd run 2, and then they only got given 1, and there looked to be a bit of discussion. So
what on earth is going off out there, as Truman used to say? This is a terrible delivery. A full bunger which passes by about 2 yards to the offside of Tamim, and it's signalled a wide by umpire Dharmasima, rightly so. So it's another free hit.
Wide.
Have we got a free hit jingle?
I don't think we do, actually. Something by free, presumably. All right now. It's a very messy over this by Pandya.
My sister lives next door to one of the bassists in 3.
Ah. That's another full delivery, and it's smashed back down the ground by Tamim, able to free his arms, and he absolutely clouted that straight through long off, and it has raced away.
Talking of free. Same era.
Who's that?
Led Zeppelin.
Zepp, is it? No.
Did you know that was Zeppelin?
I'm afraid I didn't know.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not that familiar with their work. I was having a chat with my mate about this the other day.
That's on
bands that everyone should have heard. I've never really got into them. I've never really got into Dylan.
Oh dear, it's a good job Mark Zipp's not here.
Maybe it is. Pandya over the wicket to the left-handed Tamim, who plays this one down towards backward square leg. Sort of not looking at it really. Played it off his shoulder. Pulled it and gets another single. 63 for 2 after 13.
And that was a 9 ball over, and his figures are
very messy.
14.
Yeah, a couple of no balls and a wide, and as you say, 14 off it. So an inauspicious start.
So Jonah tweets in, struggling to get into this, just feel Bangladesh are going to get spanked. Well, I think India are quite capable of making a mess of it themselves.
Yeah.
And B, Tamim's still in, and and he played a great innings against England. If somebody else, including the current geezer, get in, then anything's possible.
Yeah, they've got the talent. no doubt about it, and they've improved enormously over the last few years. Still got Shakib Al-Hassan and Mahmoudullah, the heroes from the other day, to come. Let's see what we get to. 63 for 2 it is at the moment after 13. It's another ball down the leg side by Ashwin. Just a bit sloppy here from India of late. Has that not been called? Yes, it has been called a wide, thank God, because it was an absolute nailed-on wide down the leg side. Can't get away with that in one-day cricket. It's another one that was floating down to leg side-ish, but just played on the full by Tamim. Back to Ashwin. No run this time.
No, I mean, if it's schoolboy pressure, isn't it? They put a score up.
Yeah.
You never know.
And it's another floaty one on leg stump from Ashwin. He's obviously bowling to a leg side plan here, looking to land it on or around leg stump and then maybe turn it a bit back to the left-hander's stumps. Coming round the wicket and quite wide of the crease. It's a little straighter this time outside the off stump and pushed up towards long off by Tamim. Gets another single. He's in no particular hurry at the moment. He has 20-odd runs off 40-odd balls. He's had a let-off, being caught off, or bowled, hasn't he, off a no ball in the last over.
After yesterday.
Yes, and being caught off a free hit.
And then caught off a free hit. That's not a let-off.
That's not a let-off.
That's a codified let-off.
After yesterday, and to quote Jon Snow after the election the other night, "Hello, I'm Jon Snow, and I know absolutely nothing."
He should have said, "Hello, my name is..." I don't even know my name.
But apparently, isn't that a Game of Thrones joke? I didn't get it because I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I then heard...
this is cut quite close to him by Mushfiqur. Doesn't beat the man at backward point. There's no run.
Apparently there's a character in
it's
Game
called
of
Jon
Thrones
Snow, major character.
Jon Snow,
yeah, but he's the one
who quite often says...
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's a man called Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
Apparently so.
I thought they were all called Fordar bloody blah or whatever. This one is swept by Mushfiqur, square of the wicket. He's going to get one more single.
Jon Snow's probably one of the sort of biggest characters in Game of Thrones.
Is he?
He's the one who always goes, "Winter is coming." He's the sort of doom and gloom
but
one.
doesn't he
That's
also
good,
say, "I know nothing"?
I don't know that bit.
I thought that was...
Well, I heard a whole theory about it. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan either, so I don't know.
This is played on the full. An easy single to long off for Tamim. And Gain just strolls it, moves on to 24.
The first series was full of bonking and violence, and then when it got popular, they sort of toned it all down a bit.
And the audience left in droves.
Well, actually, no, it is really popular, but I watch it, but I have no idea what's going on.
Who's Manuel who's in it? I know nothing.
It's a bit like the new series of Twin Peaks.
Oh, I watched the scene from that the other day. It was fantastically bonkers.
I understood the first
Did you?
back in the day.
Oh, you're the one.
And now this new one is just, fuck me. And I still enjoy it, but I'm just sitting there going, what the bloody hell's going on?
I watched a brilliant scene in it the other day, just in isolation, so I didn't even have any context, but I suspect the context wouldn't have helped me anyway, where the Carl McLachlan character walked into one of those slot machine places, and he'd been dazed by something, so he was almost catatonic.
Well, he's got Bob in him. Still.
He's got Bob in him. That explains a lot.
Oh.
Tamim facing up to Hardik Pandya, who will hope to do a little better in this second over of his spell. Makes a decent start, just on off stump, and Tamim plays it to point, and there's no run.
I have no idea what's going on with it at the moment.
So back in the original, at what point did you work out who Laura Palmer's killer was?
Well, right near the end, really. But I didn't... No, but it kind
of... Her father was always creepy.
Yeah.
I do like the feature film, the prequel Firewalk.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
Fantastic, really good.
The shorter ball, Tamim gives Pandya the charge, and because he banged it in a bit shorter, he wasn't able to go through with the shot, and aborted said shot, and it goes through to the keeper. It's 67 for 2, we're in the 15th over. Was that given a wide? Something's happened here. We'll let you know in due course.
Nitin tweets in, the quote is, "You know nothing, Jon Snow."
Okay.
I see.
Thank you. Nitin also tweets in, garbage bowling by Pandya, a veritable... Oh, hang on, the tweet's moved.
And this one is tucked into the onside, just to the left of mid-wicket there, and they can take a single. Tamim moves on to 25 off 49 deliveries. Mushfiqur has 14 off 18.
A veritable refuse mountain of an over. He says.
Was, yeah.
And Nakul tweets in, Hardik, no ball, not a bloody gain. Get your foot behind the line. Did the World T20 semi-final teach you nothing?
Nice bit of Tamesis there from Nakul. Not a bloody gain. Like that.
I like swear words in the middle of in the middle of words.
Sloppy cricket here, a slightly slower delivery, a loose cut too close to him from Mushfiqur. and a fumble behind the sticks by Dhoni.
I was once accused of being foul-mouthed by Gary Bushell
Were you?
for saying abso-fucking-lutely.
If that's not the chip pan calling the salad bowl greasy.
I rather thought so myself.
Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Classic bit of Tamesis there.
Mark Zip says spoilers. I'm presuming he means on the new series of Twin Peaks rather than the original series of Twin Peaks.
Or indeed this game.
Because frankly, if you don't know who killed Laura Palmer...
Hardick angles this one into Mushfiq, who tucks it into the leg side, and they can take a quick single as Kohli runs into the fielding. A bit cross with himself as he didn't field it cleanly, but regardless, there was no chance of a run out.
And it's got to be said, I would like to see the new series of Twin Peaks, but I don't currently have access to it. I'm trying to work out... What's it showing via at the moment?
Is it Sky One?
Pirate Bay.
It's on Sky One, isn't it, Nestlers, or is it Atlantic? No, you don't know.
I think it might be Sky Atlantic, and I don't have Sky Atlantic.
Well, yeah.
That's possible.
All right.
But I was wondering whether it was actually one of those, one of those Amazon Prime things, because I'd really like to see the Nazi America one, but...
Right. Talk to Nestle boy off mic, he'll sort you out, I'm sure, via thoroughly legal means.
Absolutely.
Tamim Iqbal is facing up to Pandya, and it's another short ball, and again Tamim pulls out of what was going to be a pull shot, thinks better of it. The score is on 70 for 2. There's one ball left in the... Not one boy left before anyone tweets in, like on Nestle boy's bus. One ball left of the 15th over. We see a shot of a fantastic gentleman wearing a turban with a very, very long white beard.
She's got lips, hasn't she?
That woman who we saw certainly did have lips.
And they've got wigs.
India, next station is Oval.
Yeah, it's nice that. And Pandya bowls a slower ball and fuller. And it's just turned, pulls out of
square leg.
What was Tamim takes another single,
better of it.
retains the strike at the end of the 15th over. Still left one. Not one boy left before anyone tweets in. Like on one ball left in the 15th over. We see a shot of a fantastic with a very, very long white. They're not professional copywriters.
I think you are really very good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sachin, it's like really fantastic. But
please come to my mother's house for tea when you are next in Bangalore. We would love to have you with us. She makes tremendous dal.
Crawley irons,
Yeah, they definitely need, the old thing, if you work in advertising, posters should have no more than 7 words on it, because that's all people can read.
And you used to.
Yes, when I had a job. Yes.
You didn't create that poster up there. No one can see it. Is there a point to it?
I think you might need an eye test.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it was put up there specifically for that reason.
It says MOG in massive letters, and then it gets
MOG. Have you been in the night?
It gets progressively smaller as it goes down.
As I say, it's an eye test chart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ravi Chandran Ashwin starts a new over round the wicket, and it's a full ball driven up to a long off. And there's another single for Tamim there. He's just chugging along at barely just over 50, barely 50 runs per 100 balls at the moment. So we see a shot of some Bangles fans in the crowd there wearing those headbands with a lovely red circle on the front. It looks a bit like they've been shot in the head, to be fair, but there we are. Mushfiq comes under strike now. There's a slip in for Ashwin, and he goes back into his crease and plays it off the back foot up to long on, and another single.
Oh, they all look like kamikaze pilots, don't they?
It did have that little look about it, yeah, or something out of The Deer Hunter.
Yeah. I love that film.
Very good. Did it win the Oscar that year?
Oh, I think it might have done, did it?
I think it might have won Best Film.
Yeah.
It's very strange and troubling, though. This is played off the inside edge. He took a couple of steps down the wicket, but just played it defensively, Tamim. And he gets yet another single. 3 singles in 3 balls of this Ashwin over.
It's amazing the amount of people who think it's a Martin Scorsese film.
Yeah, it's got all the hallmarks, isn't it? Who actually directed it then?
Michael Cimino.
Cimino, yes, good knowledge.
Ooh.
A little lap sweep over his shoulder this time from Mushfiq, running down towards long leg. It's just another single, though, keeping the uniformity of this over. It's Ashwin's 3rd over. He's gone for 10 runs so far. 2 balls left of his 3rd over of the spell.
Pat Haight coming up.
Go on, what is it?
That shot at 75 for 2 in this context. No.
What?
You don't need to play that shot.
Well, the lap sweep? No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
No, nothing wrong with it.
No.
Tamim now facing up again to Ashwin. He threatens to come forward, doesn't instead, plays a lovely late cut.
That's right.
Having threatened to come forward, and Ashwin didn't necessarily fire it in, but it was probably a little shorter than he was going to bowl. And Tamim won that little battle and got 4 runs for his troubles.
I think it just shows that the Bangladesh batsmen are not bothered by Ashwin. That they're
not bothered about what I think. That's for sure.
They're confident of playing him, and he doesn't scare them.
And this time he's sweeping hard just behind square. Just going to get one for it, though. So pretty good, productive over this one for Bangladesh. They took 9 from it. Ashwin has figures for 0 for 15. Mr. Busfield.
So Mark Zip says, I've been rewatching the original Twin Peaks in preparation for the new one, but I'm a bit behind. I don't know whether that means that he wants no spoilers on the originals or on the new one.
I see.
The new one is so mental, I can't give you a spoiler.
Well, I don't know. You did say something that made me think, okay, well, I would know something that I wouldn't expect to know, but maybe I would find that out immediately.
I'm more than happy to move on from Twin Peaks as a topic.
If you remember the very last scene in the original Twin Peaks, it goes a long way to explaining what's going on with Agent Cooper now.
And Hardik begins a new over. It's short and pulled by Tamim to the man on the square leg boundary. He gets yet another single. He moves on to 34 from 54 deliveries, just holding this innings together without stamping on the accelerator just yet, but probably no need to at this very moment.
Do you know what? I probably need to go back to the original series and watch them again. Ravinair says, pointless news of the day. My lighter has expired, so I'm now burning my eyebrows off on the gas to light my fags.
Oh, Ravi. Haven't you got a news agent?
And did you say you'd stop drinking? Because it doesn't sound like it from that. Hardik bowls on the hip of Mushfiqur, who turns it behind square and takes another single.
Yeah, he has stopped drinking because we were having a long discussion about alcohol and other addictions the other week and discovered that quite a lot of us are sober.
And we're seeing a replay of the no ball.
Undisciplined India.
Yeah, that was dragged onto his stumps by Tamim. And he certainly was reprieved there.
Dutchbird Kate tweets, can you email me the Dane Peach jingle so I can play it to him?
And this one is absolutely clouted over mid-wicket. I think that has gone all the way. He advanced down the wicket, Tamim did, swished at it, connected with the full face of the bat, middled it, timed it all the way for one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
+2.
We seem to have lost.
It was a 6, Nestlers.
Oh, sorry.
It was, yeah.
I thought it bounced before.
No,
No,
it's just gone over the boundary sponge.
Well, in that
Extraordinary shot, really. Almost flamingoed it.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, just off. Extravagant one leg in the air, and this one he plays more circumspectly, angling it down to third man for a single. He, all of a sudden, looks half-decent strike rate, 41 off 56 for Tamim. Mushfiqur comes back on the strike. He has 18 off 23. The score is currently 89 for 2, and we're in the 17th over.
Oh, well, you just have to guess the six.
6.
The number of the boots. Oh, shit.
Nestle boys just remembered his pact with the devil.
Yeah, I've just...
And there's some admin to do there. Oh, you wanted my soul by midday, didn't you? Sorry, I'll just FedEx that to you now. Shorter ball from Pandya over the shoulder of Mushfiqur. If I ever take up stand-up comedy, Busfield, I'm paying for your ticket in the front row. A tremendous laugher.
Oh, yeah, I've got to do an advert in a minute.
You've got to do an advert?
Yeah.
Oh. On air?
Yeah, live on air.
Speaking of adverts, Mog tweets in, what the fuck is my name doing on your fucking wall?
Well, it's the shit.
You're a Patreon man.
And Mark
says
it's a list of Patreon donors. You can read out names and encourage others.
You're up there,
I'm not
Moggers.
a professional
Top of the
graphic
list.
artist.
In massive text.
And this one is steered down to third man by Mushfiqur. Just going along quite nicely in these last few overs, these two. Mushfiqur now has 19 from 25, Tamim 41 from 56. That's the end of the 17th over. It's 90 for 2.
Yeah, Pandya being brought onto bowl has helped them get along quite nicely.
Andy Pandya.
Now, I'm going to do some shameless advertising.
Go on then.
Yes, I think listening now at their office in Surrey are BSG, a fine design and build company. If you ever need anything designed and built.
Big suave giant.
Yep. You can give them a call, and hopefully they're all listening. They do work for me, and a fine bunch of fellows they
Fantastic.
are.
Graphic design, did you say?
No, building.
Building design.
Building design, fit-outs, they do moves, they do anything you want. I even got them to enclose some asbestos in my building recently.
Yeah, okie dokie.
You just enclosed it, you didn't get rid of it.
You don't have to get rid of it.
So, BSG, you owe Nestle Boy and us a bullseye. Thanks very much. Cash is fine.
No, if BSG want to donate to Guerrilla Cricket, as we are a self-funding organisation, Julian, if you're listening, mate, give us a few quid. There you go, there's your plug.
Yeah, thanks, Jules.
Just in case there's any other major corporations listening and need a new office built, I doubt they are.
Okay, moving on. Jonah says, betting update if you can, chaps.
That was a request, was it?
It was a request. Yes.
The odds I looked at the start of the game, he said, not answering the question that was actually
he
asked.
wants an update.
Yeah. At the start of the game, India were 1-5 favourites, so pretty overwhelming favourites. If you give me a little while, have we got any more tweets you could run through?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go for it.
So Nitin says 15 overs done. Pitch seems all right. No movement or turn. What's a good score? I'd think 300 to 310.
Wow, they'd be absolutely delighted.
They would be delighted with that, but I think they're also capable of getting it, especially if India keep on bowling this tripe.
I will tell you at the 30 over stage, because it's still the rule. If Deco, if you're listening, the rule will be in play after another 12 overs or so, and we'll be able to gauge then. Double it at 30, basically.
Okay, while you two continue looking for betting odds on your phones, Ravi says, I'm still on the wagon, need extra fags to cope. We'll hit the corner shop during the innings break.
Why are you on the wagon, Ravi?
I think because he's decided it might be a good thing for his life.
Is it because when he's sober he doesn't put pictures of himself naked on Twitter, running around his flat? Maybe.
I'll tell you what, we were a lot more supportive of him the other day when we were discussing this.
Nestle Boy's in a bad mood, though. So
that's true. Nestle Boy is in a bad mood. Can I have a go with your vape?
You have to press that.
I was just passing the vape. I have betting news.
Oh, betting news.
I think. Do I? Hang on a minute. I think India. Yeah. So India have drifted a little bit to 9-2 on. So India's still very strong favourites for this game. But I wouldn't mind having a little bit of Bangladesh at 100 to 30. That's not too bad, is it? They've made a decent start. These two have recovered what was a slightly precarious position at 30-odd for 2 previously. This one is turned into the leg side by Mushfiqur from Ashwin, starting a new over. It's 91 for 2.
James Humberston tweets, to thank Guerrilla Cricket for engaging with our Sydney Con Jingles project, I've just doubled my Patreon donations. I get on the list.
James Humberston, yay! Playing from the crease here, Tamim, just to short extra cover where there's no run. Just having a look on the list, which is out of shot if you're watching on Facebook Live. If your name is on there, then we'll put it further up the list because you've doubled your... I don't know if it's up there in sort of order of amounts that are given. Tamim plays this one off the back foot up to long on, gets another single. We're seeing some lovely shots of the crowd carrying around stuffed tigers, not real ones. They are cuddly toys.
Ones, aren't they? I mean, they're the sort that cost about 800 quid at Hamleys.
yeah. And they cost the price of being able to do the fairground thing at the fairground, and then getting a spike in your child's face when you get back home. Cut by Mushfiqur, beats the man at backward point, running down towards the boundary. The man runs from the cover point boundary to do the fielding, and there are 2 runs this time.
That is, in fact, a list of people who we have the addresses of, and we're going to come round and kill them.
If you don't give us more cash.
Yeah, okay, your bad mood has gone into the demonic now.
Dark. Mushfiqur advances down the wicket and drives this one up to long on for another single.
Imagine tweets in, I had asbestos in my house, so knocked it down and built a new one. Hashtag extreme makeover.
That was bloody extreme.
Hashtag clouds of asbestos for your neighbours. And Tamim facing up to Ashwin, who's coming around the wicket, and he uses his feet. Tamim does, and plays it up to long off. Another single.
Not wanting to do a new sort of thing, but sort of Nestle Boys asbestos corner, but you don't actually have to remove it from commercial buildings as long as you seal it, because it's only dangerous if you disturb it while doing works. So, you can seal it, which I've done.
Very good. It's 96 for 2 after 18 overs, so a healthy run rate of 5.33 at the moment. And, after that... Well, they started pretty well, lost a couple of quick wickets, and these two have rebuilt fairly successfully without losing too much run momentum.
They'll be happy. They're in a solid position. They've got away with a couple maybe with those... Yeah,
they have, and...
No balls and whatever. 3 hits.
Indian indiscipline. A couple of dark clouds just lurking there over Edgbaston, so we'll... hope that they keep their distance.
That's me. I've subconsciously put them there. My bad mood.
That one that was just sort of
a few inches above your head.
Yeah, it's gone there now.
Hurtled up to Edgbaston. You got some tweets there?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dr. Dan has sent in his first sketch of the day, which I've just retweeted. If you're
Beautiful. Dr. D, supporter number 1 of guerrilla cricket, I would suggest.
Mog's top of the list, though, isn't he?
Yeah, don't tell Dr. D that. It's out of shot. This is played square of the wicket by Tamim. And we have a new bowler who we'll alert you about in the moment. Meanwhile, he's got through for 2 runs, and the score moves up to 98 for 2. One of my favourite cricketers in the world game, bowling with his little funny little hair grip in. And this one is played up to long on. There's another single there for Tamim. Moves on to 46. Got his jingle there, Nestlers? We'll have his jingle momentarily.
It's not in the Mog one, which...
I would just go for Champions Trophy India. It'll be in there.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
A man with career best figures of 5 for 30... 5 for 36.
Mog says, good luck.
Playing around cricket by myself. And I
Played out to point by Mushfiqur, no run.
confidence, and I was thinking about myself, and then there he was. Playing the there he was.
Like pure IPL gold. This one is steered into the covers. There's no run by Mushfiqur. Driven firmly by Mushfiqur, beats the man at short extra this time and runs out towards the cover boundary where it's fielded. There's another run.
Is this jingle longer than the over?
It's a great pastiche of Nirvana there, isn't it?
And it's nicely done. And Bangladesh have rocked on to 100 for 2 it is, with 1 ball left of the 19th over. Tamim Iqbal faces up and he gets out the reverse sweep and it just goes over the head of the man at backward point there, and it is indeed going to run all the way to the boundary. That takes him to his own personal milestone of 50, and he's played pretty well.
4. Good God.
And he's had a little bit of luck being bowled off a no ball from Hardik Pandya, which he dragged onto his stumps, and that time he just cleared the head of the man stationed at backward point, but it runs to the boundary fence, and by those fine margins can games be decided.
Ravi says, I'll send you flat streaking pics anytime England wins something important, but now they'll be in focus.
Well, yeah, I think you're on safe ground there.
Mog said,
Ashwin starts a new over. This one turns from outside off and bounces a little. Mushfiqur just drops it in front of him. There's no run.
Mog says, good luck with that home invasion plan when you get to my house, chaps.
Oh, yeah, he's swords and axes, man, isn't he?
Ashwin again, just outside the off stump, and Mushfiqur plays it firmly up towards mid-on, and there is no run again.
And Nitin says, those were made in China tigers, Manchurian tigers, as it were.
A floatier, and Mushfiqur is using his feet and plays it on the half volley, but doesn't beat the man there. It's a shortish, a sort of wide mid-wicket, I suppose. No run again. So he's raced through 3 balls this over, Ravi Ashwin has. No run so far.
Yeah, hanging
no
about,
damage. He does not. This is on leg stump and turned into the leg side. Again fielded. Again no run. Yeah, decent over this so far. He's rattling through it. Maybe taking a leaf out of his spin twin partner, Ravi Jadeja. Again, it's played into the leg side and fielded by the man at wide mid-wicket. No run.
There's a lot going on just before he delivers the ball, isn't there? There's
lots of that. Over the wicket again, and this is cut off his off stump behind square. He's going to get 1 run. That's the end of the 20th over. It's 105 for 2, and there's going to be a change up. We've got Ed and Sophia coming in to join.
Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Harold Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, Guerrilla Cricket.
So yeah, it's a triple change.
Except only the doubles occurred.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
Bear's just got some
Here he
alcohol, but
is.
he's back. As we see a close-up, another close-up of Virat Kohli's face.
But it's the best face ever. I've noticed something. I've made an observation.
Go for it.
The observation is that Bangladesh are currently scoring at a higher rate than England yesterday.
As Mushfiqur reverse sweeps the ball from Jadeja that was on the leg stump, and that's going to trickle to the boundary for Sophia's first jingle of the day, I wager. Yep, that's gone.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Well, I bet with my heart.
Is this a sensible move? Though,
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was a bit nervous about it, but I think they're doing all right now. 109 for 2 after 20.
As Jadeja just ran the wicket, and Mushfiqur defends into the offside, and there's no run.
They're being quite sensible, aren't they?
They are. They got a lucky break with a no ball over.
Yeah. Oh my God, a lucky break.
I mean, Hardik Pandya got him out also off a no ball. So, oh dear, nobody doing that though. That's not out. I don't think. They're going to go upstairs.
There's a play and a miss, an attempted sweep from Mushfiqur, and they've gone up for the stumping, but it looked like his foot was behind the line.
Unless he lifted it. Dhoni.
Yes.
Well, no, it could have been behind the line, but in the air.
Okay. Fair enough.
No one looks particularly excited about it, do they?
No. It's one of those sort of half-hearted appeals, and then the umpire's sort of a bit petrified that it might be out, so he sends it upstairs. Oh, hang on.
Hold on. No, Mushy, get your foot back!
His foot's on the line!
Oh, his foot's back.
His foot's back.
Yeah.
We were talking absolute shite. That was actually really close. That was actually really close. He's very lucky. His foot's on the line, but he's sort of pressed back, and so the back bit of the green sort of plushy bit of his trainer. You can tell I don't really use trainers.
I do all the time. It's behind the line.
Yes, and it is. Yeah, it's behind the line.
You're young and I'm old, and you don't wear trainers.
Yeah.
My
Look, I'm
God.
wearing. Do you like my trainers?
I love
These
it.
are sort of slip-on.
They're not really.
glittery.
कैलाश हैट्रिक की तैयारी है छोटे चिंता मत कर बेटा होगा
देवर जी
Trainers, are they?
No, they're not. I mean, I do own trainers just for gymming and things.
Yeah.
Not a gymmer.
It's not really my thing.
There's a bit behind the line.
Yeah, that's definitely not out. But it was a lot closer than we thought. And in hindsight, it's a bit surprising they weren't a bit more excited.
Not out. Come on, not out.
Yeah, it's given not out. But it's a dot ball.
It is a dot ball. Yeah, so I went for Bangladesh at 4-1.
That's quite good odds in a two-horse race.
I kind of went for it because it gives me something in the game. So as long as Bangladesh get a decent score.
Yeah, as Jadeja is round the wicket and Mushfiqur defends off the back foot. Back to Jadeja, and there's no run.
Does anyone else think that Jadeja is rocking a little bit of a Captain Jack Sparrow look today?
As he bowls a short ball, the Mushfiqur is able to cut past the man at point. It'll go out to the offside sweeper, and they take a single.
He's got that sort of. It's the look. I think it's the fact that he shaved his moustache and his beard are not one.
Do you not think he looks like a sort of 1980s semi-racist Indian character in a film?
What?
As in, one of those ones where they would sort of, as I'll continue this comment after this ball from Jadeja, he's over the wicket to Tamim and he defends.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, it's in Rush Hour, one of those characters where...
Yeah, but that's more like Chinese.
Yes.
So
Well, I'm
Indian.
not excusing my own subconscious prejudices here. I'm just... But, when Hollywood characters would and then have these, Asian characters with these preposterously funny hairstyles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. He's gone for the terrible. He's wearing an Alice band, so it's all scraped back. But because his hair's not quite long enough, it sort of springs up behind the Alice band.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
He used to be quite a good-looking man.
Nitin says those who No, he also says Chris Gale is shooting a music video in Ibiza.
Oh my God!
He
involves a golden hammer.
Do we think
life goals?
Do we think that'll be sexist or just misogynistic or both or everything?
They'll probably have loads of girls twerking in slow
I didn't
motion.
realise that Chris Gale could sing.
He probably
Or is
can't.
he
with good reason?
DJ.
As Ashwin continues to Mushfiqur, and Mushfiqur is trying to guide that past the man there, feeling the offside in the ring, but he's unable to do so, and there's no run.
Our very own Will Cockrell says, in case my wife catches me watching the Facebook feed, could Sophia change into bare shorts and vice versa? It's not going to happen, Will.
Also, interesting usage of my name there.
Oh,
You rechristened me.
Mushfiqur drops out into the offside.
I'm just going to call you Soph because it's easier.
Yeah.
My daughter's Soph, you're Soph. There's lots of Sophs in my life. I shall go there.
Yeah, it's a dot ball anyway. Yeah, but what's the correct pronunciation? Soph? As Ashwin is in,
so
and he bowls a full toss, which is driven to the man fielding at Gary's least favourite position, the sort of half in, half out, mid-off, and they take a single.
I am Sophia because I'm spelt S-O-F-I-A, and this is Sophia Gardens because it's S-O-P-H.
No, this is Birmingham.
Yesterday was Sophia Gardens.
Today is Edgbaston.
Is it? What day is it? Like,
it's Thursday.
No, yeah.
This is my 14th day out of 15 days doing this tournament. I've gone a bit fucking doolanny, I have to say.
Ashwin's changing his line of attack to Tamim. He's going to go around the wicket to him. No slips, just Emma Stoney behind the stumps as Tamim produces a flashing cover drive.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what a lovely shot.
There.
That's gone past the man at point. It's gone to the square cover boundary for one of these.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
I mean,
sorry, Bear.
Well, I was going to say, India weren't probably expecting this, were they? They were probably expecting a little collapse like they did against New Zealand to get into the meet, and if they could stop the middle order, then they'd have an easy target to chase.
That was a bit like the swashbuckling Tamim of old.
Well,
as Ashwin's in, and Tamim comes down the wicket and drives him inside out over extra cover, and it's gone all the way to the boundary. Probably the shot of the innings so far. It's gone for one of these.
Couple of nice shots, just rein it in. Couple more singles, 10 off the over.
Yeah, well, he's punished the short, he's punished the wide one, he's punished the straight one, and he's in now. And this time, Tamim turns around the corner.
Oh, come on, Ball! Come on, Ball! Come on, Ball! Come on,
He's
Ball!
scoring all around the ground. He's scoring all around the ground. It's gone to the boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So we saw the full range there. Flashing square cover drive, inside out over extra cover, and then just tickles that fine down the fielder in the ring on the leg side for 4.
He's a massive man in form, though.
Yes, he is in form. He is in form.
And even before the Champions Trophy, I think. Before the Champions Trophy, got 102 against Pakistan and 65 against New Zealand and 47 against Ireland. So
he's really taken on the sort of elder statesman role, and he's playing a much more responsible innings. And he's not one of those batsmen who's just like, that's the way I play, because he used to come out absolutely banging it all over the place. But
guess when he did his debut.
As Jadeja continues to Mushfiqur, who clips that beautifully into the onside. What a shot!
Come on, Ball.
Unfortunately, it's going to be picked up on the boundary. It's sort of misfielded by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar out there, but it was just clipped there by Mushfiqur Rahim in the air, and they'll come back for 2.
Well, I think Bangladesh got to aim for around about 300, and then at least they've got the fates in their own hand. They've not got a bad bowling attack. India could have a bit of a brain fade like England yesterday. I mean, it's possible. I mean, when you're big favourites.
As Mushfiqur guides that one into the offside, and I suspect, as they have, they will run through for a single.
It's very easy to get yourself into a bit of spot of bother, isn't it? I mean, India don't tend to do that. England do, let's be honest. I mean, I've seen England have brain fades at knockout stages in all sports, across all bloody disciplines,
throughout all of history.
Throughout my fucking life, yes.
Jadeja's over the wicket, and that is punched out to the man fielding in the ring on the onside, and there is no run.
But India tend to, especially in cricket, when they get in the right position, they tend to capitalise.
Oh, and there's a lovely shot there, a little dab glide, and it goes out to the fielder there. I think that's Jasprit Bumrah, and Mushfiqur's only able to take a single.
And the other thing is, India have had the luxury, even when they lost, of having opening partnerships that have gone 15, 16, 17 overs at least.
Correction, it was Tamim on strike, and Mushfiqur is on strike now and cuts one to the fielder out there at the boundary on the offside, and they take 2.
And it'd be interesting to see. I didn't have a little bloody interview with Star Sports last night.
Yes, we saw.
And they, well, no, this one I haven't put up yet. But they made me. They made me. Some guy said that obviously Rohit and Shakir the dominant openers in the tournament, and you have to be said. But
as Mushfiqur just taps this one into the onside, and he's taken, I think, 7 from that Jadeja over, so they're milking him quite contentedly, 130 for 2.
But everything's gone kind of serenely for India in all their matches, even when they've lost, and the fact that they seem to have a plan that their openers are going to stay there for a long time. Both can accelerate when they need to, but as long as they get a high opening partnership, wear off the new ball, then they set the rest of the side up for runs. It'll be interesting. I think for Bangladesh to win this, they've got to get an early wicket or two, because India haven't had that throughout the whole tournament, and see how they like it and see how it wears at them. So they could get one of the openers and Kohli out early for 50 and maybe get them 100 for 3 or 4.
Yep.
That made a cracking game from there.
Yeah, well, we're all looking for a close finish as we see that Tamim Iqbal has gone past Shikhar Dhawan. He's got 286 runs in the tournament, and he is the leading run scorer and will be presented with the golden bat.
Unless
Shikhar Dhawan scores a lot more runs.
Wow, got to score 16 more.
As Ashwin's over the wicket. Oh, and Mushfiqur plays a lovely shot. A little lap flick, almost to Dilshan there. Yeah. But it's unfortunately, it's fielded on the boundary by Yuvraj, of all people, who's managed to get round there. Well, that's quite impressive. And they'll take 2.
India have reached the semi-finals. This is their 6th semi-final. Well,
you weren't even drunk last night.
I know. So
Come on.
This is the 6th time India have been in a semi-final in the last 7 ICC events.
Wow.
Okay. So what's the gap? What's the missing one? Oh, sorry.
I
thought that was the question coming. I'm sorry, that wasn't fair.
We can create that. That can be our Twitter discussion.
Yeah, that's a very good save as Ashwin is into Mushfiqur, who plays a slog sweep, and that goes out into the onside, but there's a fielder there square on the onside, and it's Kedar, and he fields it, and they only are able to scamper a single.
Wasn't there a tournament here? They didn't go out of the group stage. It was a big...
Was it the last championship?
Oh, it must be the World Cup, the 2007 World Cup. That must be it.
Either that or that T20, the T20 competition here in England, the first one that we won.
As Tamim just glides an Ashwin ball into the onside and steals a single. It must be that 2007 World Cup, thinking about it. Unless there have been several Champions trophies in between. If there's 7, they must be that World Cup. So I've answered my own question. I'm sorry. Sorry, Twitter discussions. As Mushfiqur's down the wicket to Ashwin, trying to force it, but Ashwin just bowled it a little bit straighter, and he's only able to tap it down to long on for a single.
Ravi says, I saw that interview this morning. So reluctant to endorse Sharman Dhawan as dominant opener as the Champions. No, I wasn't. I completely agree with the man.
I'm really sorry, but I didn't get any of that by the end.
Ashwin did to Tamim, who just plays a beautiful cover drive out to the boundary and gets 1.
Well, of course, Ravi's in India, so he'd have probably seen it on real TV, so he's actually seen what I said. No, I endorsed it, didn't I? That's what I thought I did anyway.
Maybe it's.
And you weren't even drunk last night, Bear.
No, I wasn't. It was about 11 o'clock by the time I did it. I got the email about 9:30.
The last ball of Ashwin's over is to Mushfiqur, and he just punches that off the back foot down to the man at long on. So they've taken 7 off that over. Bangladesh milking the Indian spinners here, 137 for 2.
I also went over 277.5. At the 5-2, that was.
What?
Over 277.5.
Oh, okay. I'm not really a gambler, but I think I understand what you're saying.
That seems like a pretty low score, considering they
in
lost
modern one-day cricket.
Well, exactly, and that's the long odds. So normally the line is 6-5 on, or roughly evens.
Okay.
So at the time they were offering 242 runs as the line, which is where they think the bookies are thinking they get to.
As we've had a sort of.
So I went over 278 or above basically, and I got nearly 2.5 to 1.
That's pretty good news.
It is.
I think, and I mean, one-day scores of 300 is pretty much par these days. And you think if Bangladesh are going to have a chance, they're going to have to put something like that on the ball. Tamim's got 65, he's well set, as is Mushfiqur. And you think both of these, or at least one, needs to get 100 as Jadeja continues. Oh, and there's a little bit of a mix-up there as it's punched into the offside. But they
could get
fortunately stagger their... They fortunately stagger their run, so there's no run out. And have they got through for an overthrow?
Yes, they did.
They did. So
they got their run anyway.
Bad cricket all round there.
The score predictor has them at 295 now.
So you're in the money.
I'm in the money according to that.
if they can push that up to 310, 320. It's never easy to get 310, 320.
Jadeja's over the wicket, and that is just defended. And there's a shot at the stumps by the man in the ring, but there is no chance of a run out there.
It's also a quite different weather to what we're experiencing here in London, which is there's drizzle around, clouds. Also some black clouds.
Well, Steve told us earlier that the toss was delayed due to cloud, which we were amazed by. Jadeja bowls a half tracker, and Tamim has a huge slash at that, but he's tried to hit that too hard, and it's just gone out to Shikhar Dhawan on the boundary on the leg side, and they can only take a single.
Yeah, actually light drizzle, everyone. Cloud was fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
Nitin says, where will India find a few overs to cover Pandya's filth?
Jadeja's in, and Mushfiqur plays a great sweep shot. That's a lovely shot. He covered the line of the ball, he got his leg outside the line and just swept through, and they'll get back for 2, taking on Bhuvi Kumar's throw.
What they're doing is, Bangladesh are doing what Pakistan did really well yesterday. I know they were chasing, but they're running through they're keeping themselves incredibly busy.
Yeah.
England were very stationary.
Yeah.
I always felt. How many overs yesterday were maidens?
I don't know if there were that many, but we did seem to be just getting 1s and 2s off overs.
As Mushfiqur pats one back to Jadeja. There's no run.
We really basically panicked after Root got out.
Unfortunately.
And it was a bit weird.
As Jadeja is into Mushfiqur, who is batting that down to long on. It's the end of the over. Mushfiqur will be on 45, Tamim's on 66, Mushfiqur's on 46, and Bangladesh are 142 for 2.
I mean, it seems the one thing that England can't do is they're fine batting against even spinners or pace off the ball if the wicket's, hard. They just don't seem to be able to cope with slow wickets, which is a bit poor. I mean, we play everywhere around the world, and we know that there are slow wickets. We knew that there were going to be used wickets. Even though I don't agree with the used wickets thing, I think they should have had more fresh wickets, especially for the semi-finals. Fine if you're going to do it in the group stage, and then the group stage ends, and then you use a fresh wicket.
And you it's not as if there aren't more stadiums in England that fresh wickets could be found on.
And actually, for England, that's the worst wicket out of the 3. England, if it had been an Edgbaston, they'd probably won. I thought if it had been a Lords, they'd have probably won.
Yeah.
Sophia Gardens is probably the worst wicket out of the lot.
It's probably, let's be honest, it's probably one of the worst wickets in the country. I mean, it's slow.
Gary on this.
Oh, God.
So why they have bloody international tournaments there?
Yeah.
Anyway, Ravi Nair says, you did say yes, Bear, of course, but it was about as enthusiastic as Corbyn campaigning for Remain. I thought it was a bit more enthusiastic than that.
Yeah.
But maybe, if you say that, then maybe not. Crack to Bear says, I feared that the scene mistress's shorts would reveal all my secrets. You know who Crack the Bear is?
Yeah.
Yes. Nitin Bajaj says England innings yesterday had 150 dot balls.
We're having a bowling change.
Keep talking. I need to find his jingle.
Well, no problem. Yeah, they can be a bit mysterious. I'll give you the field. We've got a short third man, a short fine leg. We've got 2 men out on the offside and 2 men out on the leg. So we've got sort of a classic one-day field, and I'll commentate on his first ball, which he bowls a filthy half-tracker that, again, Mushfiqur's tried to hit too hard, and he's just hit it straight to Ravichandran Ashwin for a single. It's this man.
When I say I love you, you say you can't. You can't, you dad. When I say I need you, say you can't. You can't, you dad.
So he's going around the wicket to Tamim, turning the ball away from the left-hander, and he's on his way now. And Tamim goes to drive that powerfully off the back foot, but there is a sweeper out there on the offside, and they're only able to take a single, and the score moves on to 144 for 2.
Let me just put this into perspective, right? So yesterday it took England 10 more overs. So obviously Bangladesh are approaching their 150 in the 26th over.
As Jadav is in and bowls a leg start half volley that Mushfiqur is only able to direct to Ravichandran Ashwin, fielding out there at deep mid-wicket.
Putting either Bangladesh's innings into perspective or England's performance into perspective, whichever way you want to look at it, England's 150 came up in the 36th over.
As Jadav is into Tamim, who belts a full toss straight to the man at long off. He didn't get anything on that at all. It was the toe end of the bat, but he's still able to get through for a single. Yeah, England's performance was hugely disappointing, but I think the damage was done, as in the Sri Lanka match, the quick bowlers in the middle overs, and they did bowl very well, and they've got the ball to move, which is so rare in one-day cricket.
They bowled so many of those slow cross-seam deliveries.
As Jadav is in and just bowls a sort of nothing ball to Mushfiqur, who's directing it down to the fielder there on the onside for a single. He's 1 away from 50.
And as Hendo said yesterday, I mean, the weird thing was that England having seen that didn't do any of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you bowled it across seam into a slow, sticky pitch.
As Tamim knocks the final ball of Jadav's over out into the offside, he moves on to 68. Bangladesh 148 for 2.
What do we reckon about how India are bowling today?
They're bowling okay. I think India think rightly that they can pretty much chase it down anything that Bangladesh put on the board. They do have a problem in the fifth bowler department.
I think their attack's overrated. I mean,
Bhuvi's good.
Bhuvi's good. If
I mean, the thing is, Ashwin's never bowled particularly well in England.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe that's part of the reason why they didn't put him in the first 2 games.
But they're definitely a better side with him in it. But I mean, I think there's not many wicket-taking options there. But as you say, they back themselves to chase down anything. And if they bat first...
Well, this is the thing. But then with them, they back themselves to get down anything. But all their runs have pretty much got to come from the top 7.
Yep.
And so if you can get into them early, you can create havoc.
As Jadeja continues, and that's just tickled away by Tamim to the fielder there at short fine leg, and they take a single.
Then we'll give some tweets. Kate, it's glorious here in Arundel. She sent a picture. That's where I think South Africa A are playing England A, or someone up in Yorkshire anyway. Arundel. Will Cockle says more than 7 ICC tournaments in 2007 World Cup ahead. For instance, India didn't get to the semis of the 2009 or 2010.
As Mushfiqur gets one off the inside edge, and he'll take the single that will move him on to a well-earned 50 of 60 balls, and it's also brought up the Bangladeshi 150 for 2, and that's been a really solid innings from someone who needs to stay there till the end if they're going to look like getting a big score to challenge the Indian batsman. As Tamim just plays a dot ball from Jadeja. Yes, of course, I wasn't thinking of the T20s.
Yeah, well, they didn't get to the 2000 or 2010 WT20s, but they got the World T20s year after year.
As Tamim's forward, defending a good ball from Jadeja that's on the off stump.
And interestingly, when you look at this wicket looks a hell of a lot better to bat on than Cardiff did yesterday. I mean, it's actually coming onto the bat. It's still maybe a used pitch, but at least it's coming onto the bat. Yesterday it didn't come on at all.
As Jadeja bowls a ball that's a little bit too straight, and Tamim's able to work that away on the leg side for a single. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great wicket, but
well, what are England saying? What you're given.
Exactly. What are England saying? They can only batter
seems
teams were on the flattest of pitches.
Well, exactly. That's their strength is in their batting. But even then, I mean, that side should be able to get 300.
As Mushfiqur defends and manages to sneak a single off the last ball of Jadeja's over. He's 51. Tamim's on 70. Bangladesh 152 for 2.
It's also not as if it wasn't the first time they'd played in Cardiff.
No. And it was a home pitch, so they should know what the conditions are there. I mean, it was a pretty poor excuse, true. And you have to say that Hassan Ali and Junaid Khan and the other seamer bowled, those cross-seam deliveries seem to catch everyone out. They've caught all everyone out. And Hassan Ali's got 10 wickets in the competition. Since the first game, he's bowled exceptionally well. And, at the end of the day, you've got to hand it to them. I do think England could have done better, and they did have an off day, but they got outplayed on the day, and it's a day later, and I can be pragmatic about it. Yesterday, I was bloody angry with them.
But I think as well, it was not a great pitch for entertainment-wise, but it wasn't a poor pitch. It wasn't like dangerous or subcontinental. It was just slow.
Yeah.
And if you said something like, if you were making excuses like that in a test match, people would laugh you off the park. If you're like, we can't cope with the slow.
No.
You've got to play what you've got to play what you're given, even if it isn't your ideal conditions. As Jadav bowls an utterly filth round arm ball that's just tapped by Mushfiqur to the field there on the onside, and there's no run.
Knuckle Panda says, last time India didn't make the semis was 2012 WT20, the one where the West Indies burgled a win versus Sri Lanka in the final.
As Mushfiqur defends a straight ball from Yadav, and there's no run.
Adelaide Barman says, I refer to the comments we made some moments earlier. Hashtag Jadeja, hashtag Occupy New York, hashtag India versus Bangladesh.
Oh, well, I think we all know what that means.
No? What?
Do we?
No, that was a joke. As Jadav bowls one of the worst balls I've seen in this tournament, an enormous loopy wide down the leg side that almost troubled the wide side for the bowler, the bowler bowling to the left-hander. Oh my goodness, he's bowled some total filthiness over, and he bowls a huge slow half tracker.
Gets away with it.
And Mushfiqur tries to smash to the cover boundary, and it's just hit to the fielder in the ring. I think that might have been Kohli himself. And there is no run. I tell you what, this has been one of the worst 4 balls for 1 that I've seen in quite a long time. It was Bhuvi Kumar who did the fielding.
Well, it's because they have the problem with Pandya, don't they? I'm just going to see how many overs they've got to cover. I mean, if he doesn't rate Pandya...
He should play another bowler.
Yeah.
As Jadab is into Mushfiq. Oh my God, he's into Tamim and bowls in another enormous half tracker. And the problem with the Bangladeshis is they're trying to hit these so hard, they're not getting them outside the ring.
And they might get themselves out. I mean, Hardik Pandya's only bowled 3 overs.
And Jadab bowls a better ball, a full ball on the off stump, and that's hit to Virat Kohli, fielding there at cover, and there's no run.
You know how this morning the toss delayed by cloud? I've just found a jingle that is cloud with no rain.
Oh, as Jadab... Oh, my God! No! Jadab bowls Tamim with a round-arm ball that barely got above knee height. My God. That's just...
Shit takes wickets,
That's
guys.
just absolutely... That's one of the worst overs I've ever seen. The worst over of the tournament, probably. And he's taken the key wicket of Tamim Iqbal. He's gone for 70. It was a nothing round-arm ball. It didn't turn, went on with the arm. Tamim tries to sweep that for 6. He's sinking 6 all the way, and it's clipped the leg stump. And, my God, inspired bowling change for your Virat Kohli. Filth gets wickets, as Sophia says.
Shit does get wickets.
Shit gets wickets.
I've been trying.
Was a giant mistake. Was a giant mistake. Gigantic.
But if Mohammedullah can
Yeah,
get another 70
Well, Shakib too.
100,
They talk about trudging off. That was a trudge from Tamim Iqbal. He was licking his face, just going, "Oh my God!" Have you seen a worse over than that in the tournament? Seriously,
It's terrible bowling. And they've got the thing is they've only. Hardik's gone for 28 and 3 overs, so they do need to kind of find an extra bowler.
Oh my God!
I can't believe he'll get that lucky for the rest of the game, and hopefully he'll get smashed out of the park.
Jesus, there was 2 runs from that over.
Yeah,
he bowled 5. Absolutely,
and one of them was a filthy wide.
Yeah,
I think I would bowl that. That would be me. If Virat was like, Sophia, have a bowl.
I'd have a longer run up, but I would also be able to bowl 50 mile an hour filth.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. To the listener at home, I just can't describe how bad the cricket was in that over. It was short half trackers that the batsman was unable to hit for 4, and then getting out. Oh, that wide. That was
the worst wide.
Oh my
ever.
God! It was like 2 foot wide down the leg side, and it was at the speed you could have run and caught the ball and re-bowled it. Oh,
should we have the 30th ICC ODI ranked batsman? This man.
Yes.
I'm going to stop that.
Mushfiq just defends one into the offside from Jadeja, who's continuing slightly shell-shocked from the over before.
Mog, what the hell is that? What the hell is that jingle?
An interesting jingle from Mog as Mushfiq is back to a straight ball from Jadeja and there's no run.
It lasts for 30 seconds.
Yeah, it sounds like the chanting in Finding Nemo. PBR says, what pitch is Bumrah bowling on?
Oh, as Mushfiq is able to work that one onto the leg side and he takes a single.
Nitin says, that over by Jadab was an example of batsmen not believing the dross being served up and losing focus. Yes, absolutely. That's where you've got to be careful because it's filth does take wickets.
Oh my God. You should see the ungainliness of that Tamim Heave has to be seen to be believed.
I think it's almost that they're so in awe of where they are that there's a little hint of trying too hard.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it. They're just thinking this has got to go, this is such rubbish.
Well, this is their one, I think this is what England were nervous about. I mean, Bangladesh are in a semi-final here and you have to take your chance.
As Shakib defends his first ball, straight back to Jadeja.
And you have to believe. You don't just think it's a right. You've got to believe that we're good enough to do it. And this is our one chance to prove it.
As Jadeja's into Shakib, and Shakib dabs that into the leg side for his first run.
But I think Pakistan had that feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think
they had nothing to lose. I mean, they were massive underdogs. Everyone thought we were going to walk over them. So that's what always. I mean, this is the problem. We're almost better, England, having tournaments, being in tournaments that aren't in England. I mean, whenever England enter any tournament of any sport, there's always this overconfidence and this belief that we're the greatest side in the world.
And the last ball of Jadeja's over is defended, and that's 2 from it. 156 for 3.
Is it the sort of
the
syndrome of having begun so many of these sports, we're assumed to be good at it?
Well, precisely. I think now, football is the prime example of that. Whenever we go to a World Cup, it's like, we could win this. Yeah, and then actually,
we have got some good players, but then you look at it and go, well, actually, never.
We should do like the Australians do and create their own sport, Aussie rules, and then just not share it with the world.
Well, that's what the Americans do too. Ravi Nair says, could you get Pete to tweet, he's tweeting to Dutchbird Kate as well, could you get Pete to tweet the Gorillas and tell us exactly what he thinks of his jingle? I think he's done that way back when. He liked his jingle. First we take Manhattan says, controversial opinion, I know, but the only thing I didn't like about yesterday's pitch is that more ODI pitches aren't like that. There are pitches like that around the world. I don't think England expects to have one here.
As Yadav, the filth merchant, continues, and again, Shakib is only able to knock that to the man fielding there at point, and they take a single.
Yadav has got great, what's the word?
Nothing.
Figures, that's the word.
Figures.
1 for 8.
I was really thinking about what was good about this bowling.
Look,
As Shakib manages to dab a Yadav ball down to long on for a single. They were showing us the points of release, and he's almost doing a baseball-like
swing round.
action. Yeah,
Are you accusing him of throwing?
No, not at all. His arm's perfectly straight. I just mean that shouldn't be getting top-class international batsmen out.
As a lawyer.
No.
Yeah.
As a lawyer. Kate says, Arundel in Yorkshire, go back in geography class, Bear. Yeah, where is Arundel? Sussex. Oh, there you go. I didn't think it was in Yorkshire.
If it's outside of London.
You're a big Yorkshire fan. Swing it both ways says, hello, Gorillas. This looks decent for Bangladesh so far. India might think they can smash off anything Bangladesh post, but Bands bowlers ain't that shit, and that's correct.
As Janav is over the wicket, and that's one of the better balls he's bowled, but it's on middle stump and turned away on the leg side for a single by Mushfiqur.
Okay. The Fizzer. Got any beer left? So could you get me another beer before you come on? Thanks a lot.
So I think we're going to have a double change at the end of this over, and Bear's going to move on to ball by ball. But first, we've got 3 balls of Yadav left, and he's around the wicket, and he's just essentially slinging it down to Shakib, who's able to tuck that into the onside, and they think about a second, but they just take the single.
Lazy Rocket Scientist says, the problems with visual radio is if the host has an itch and say scratches himself, we can see that any other adjustments. So that's the beauty of it. What
Who's
you
been
about?
itching and scratching inappropriately?
Oh God, you don't want to get people on that kind of stuff again.
I've been yawning quite a lot.
As Jadav is bowling full and on the leg stump, and Mushfiqur turns it away for another single.
We just need to be calm a bit here. Swing it both ways says... Oh, no, listen, says, that was the funniest sequence of 6 deliveries ever.
It was...
You're right, it was shite, but he got a wicket.
Such wank. As Jadav pulls to Shakib, a short and wide ball, as Shakib goes back and cuts to point. So that's the end of the 30th over. Bangladesh 161 for 3. Shakib's on 4, Mushfiqur's on 55. Shakib will be on strike for the next over, and I think we're going to have a change. But there doesn't appear to be... I'll let Gary sit down before I move for the Bear, as Virat and MS Dhoni have a little chin wag, and he throws the ball to somebody else, presumably, and Gary's here, and the Bear will take over.
Well, I'm delighted to be joining the voices at such a crucial stage of obviously a crucial match. It's the semi-final of the Champions Trophy. It's India against Bangladesh, and Bangladesh are, I won't say sitting pretty, but they have a firm foundation, 161 for 3.
Can someone come and shut the door, please?
They've got 2 of their 4 gun batsmen at the crease. Shakib Al Hassan
is in. He's facing up to who is that? Jadeja. And it's just cut behind square for no run. I was going to say, this is one of the few times I'm the lightest man on this sofa. That's played up back to the bowler. Jadeja continues and there is no run. Shakib's on 4 off 8. Mushfiqur's on 55 off 71. Bangladesh 161 for 3 after 30. Now that's a good place to be if they can move on from here, as that's worked into the leg side by Shakib, and he gets himself a single.
Yes, one of the qualifications for actually sort of doing this gig is to have a few words to say. But I don't have words for how uncomfortable all these bloody chairs are in here.
Well, you see, if you lose a little bit of weight, they're probably a little less comfortable. A little more comfortable, even.
Thank you, Doc.
That is played back to the bowler, and there's no one. Can you shut the door while you're up?
You say this, I mean, we are of a similar build in this room. I mean,
yes.
I mean, you might be able to get away with claiming you're the skinny one, which I bet doesn't happen to you very often.
No, exactly. It's beautiful. That's swept. Slog sweep, really, but he didn't get all of it. Mushfiqur, and it goes out to deep mid wicket. There's no run. Someone's got to get the ton here. I'd like it to be Mushfiqur. He's batted quite nicely throughout this tournament. And so many of these, I remember a lot of these Bangladeshis, we saw them when they all started out. Shakir when he was younger, and
Shakib and Tamim when he was younger, and they're all very exciting. And that's cut down towards third man, and they kind of grown now into a team that has a little bit of self-belief, a little bit of experience, and we're certainly not going to be a walkover today.
Yeah, I think the first commentating I did back in the days of a different.
We did that series in Bangladesh, didn't
2009,
we?
yeah. And Tamim was a real dasher at the top of the order.
Mushfiq had only come into the side. He was only about 16, 17 then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And he was the kind of proto-David Warner, was Tamim. And they're still two of the four main batsmen in this side. And Tamim has gone. Shakib is batting now on 6. Mushfiq has 56. And, of course, there is the single malt Mahmudullah to follow.
And ahead of the England-Bangladesh game,
as Jadav rolls a filthy fucking, he's bowling filth, and it's outside the off stump. It's a misfield, thank God, at cover, and they do get a single.
It's filth that got him a wicket, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there was filth that got him a wicket. Their eyes lit up, didn't they? I mean, it was just the danger is that they don't, because he doesn't put the ball anywhere near the same spot every ball. You just think, it's filth, and then you top edge one, or you do what Salmon did. Your head goes up in the sky, and this is going over the boundary, and you miss it. They're currently scoring at 3.12, but they've scored at 5.29. The rate is up.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. It shouldn't be allowed. He goes back deep in his crease and back foot punches it basically out to cover. It's too close for that shot, really. He should have been forward, I think.
Well, to be fair, he was waiting for the filth, and then that was actually quite a good
That's
delivery.
what I mean. Don't wait for the filth. Be proactive. That's tossed up on leg stump, and it's swept straight to the man up the square leg. They got a field set for him. Filth is working.
Are you suggesting he should create his own filth?
Well, possibly.
Dirty protest.
Yeah. Well, that went on for a while, didn't it? Jadav is into the pads again, this time sensibly. Mushfiq plays it out through mid-wicket down to the boundary and gets himself a single where the sweeper fields 166 for 3. We got your tweets there, Stevie.
We have, but I'm going to need you to explain where we're up to in a second.
Well, I had the one on the screen in the middle. That was where the one I was up to.
Yeah, but they've moved around since then.
The cuts, back foot cut, doesn't beat the man at backward point.
Besides, I've got things I want to talk about.
Good
first.
single. Okay, you talk about the things you want to talk about. Tweeters, I'm sorry. Blame it on Busfield. You can all swear at him. You can all swear at him in caps locks for 140 characters.
As long as they at me.
Yes.
But I was going to say, when we were talking about Bangladesh having grown up.
Oh, that's a filthy. I mean, it's a filthy. Oh dear, it's a filthy round arm delivery. It's knocked into the leg side by Mushfiq. He goes halfway down the track. Yadav's laughing on the balcony, going, "What is this filth?" And Mushfiq nearly runs himself out stupidly. He gets about a third of the way down the track. Had to go back. It was knocked off the glove of Dhoni, sort of handball style onto the stumps, but Mushfiq was easily back. No, I don't know. Is he going upstairs? Did he go upstairs? No, he didn't bother.
No. Anyway, talking about Bangladesh having grown up, ahead of the England-Bangladesh game, a lot of the mainstream media were still treating it as if it was England against this little upstart team.
Yeah. Good old Bangladesh.
And they're a better team than us at one-day cricket.
I don't know if they're a better team than us at one-day cricket. That's cut behind square. That's a good shot. There's no one down there. Beautiful shot by Shakib. It's his first boundary. He moves on to 12 off 13. And Bangladesh 171 for 3. Now, if these two can get deep into the 40s and then Mahmudullah comes out and has a massive swipe, they could end up with 320 here, 320, 330. I don't think they will, but they could do.
On over 300 in a test recently.
Yeah. Beautiful cut again. Can't quite beat the man at short third man.
They've got a better They've got a good record against us in recent years in one-day cricket.
They have. No,
and they are looking closer to being in the final than we did at any point in our semi-final.
Absolutely. No. I was just saying that on air. I just think England kind of I think Endo was a bit right. I think we froze a bit. I think we felt a bit entitled, as England often do. That's played out through the covers. And there's a single. Bangladesh here are batting like, well, this is our chance here. We can get through to a final. Whereas England, yesterday, looked scared that if we fuck this up, we're not going to get to the final. And my fear is it's obviously a lot easier to play that, I think, as the underdog. And they will be considered the underdog again against India. Same as Pakistan were considered the underdog against us. Swiped by Shakib up to long off. They'll get the single.
if we were to have an East Pakistan against West Pakistan final,
that'd be genius, wouldn't it?
Who would be considered the underdogs in that?
I still think, well, actually, Bangladesh are higher in the ratings than Pakistan. But you look at the thing is about Pakistan, you look at their bowling and you think that's always their stronger suit. Bangladesh, Mushfiqur cuts that out to the man sweeping on the cover boundary and there's no run. I think Bangladesh look a much more complete team. Their batting looks more stable and they haven't got a bad bowling unit, let's be honest. Whereas Pakistan, you think, there's fallibility in their batting lineup, you think.
But what it's worth about England...
played back to the bowler and there's no run.
My view is that the best England one-day side I've ever seen gave one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And, this England side does have a collapse in them. I was at Lord's a couple of weeks ago when at 25 past 11...
I think most sides do in ODI
but not many sides are 20 for 6 after 25 minutes of an ODI. True. England were against South Africa a couple of weeks ago when I was at Lord's. We seem to have exchanged making the occasional 400 for making the occasional 50
collapse. And you don't want, and they go at the wrong time. I mean, I always think there's a loss in any tournament for most teams. And we hadn't had a loss in the group stage. In fact, we've gone so serenely through it. You yesterday was kind of it. It was either that or the final, wasn't it? Because it's England.
Messages, tweets, don't give Busfield any more licence. Got 15 minutes behind on tweets last week, which is true.
See, you're being berated by the Twitterati. That's punched up too long on for a single, yes.
What I will say about these Bangladeshi lads is a lot of them have played well over 100, some of them over 200 ODIs. And they work out quickly how to score runs on a pitch, whether it's a kind of pitch that you
This is a lot better pitch than yesterday.
It is better.
It's still coming onto the bat, even though it's a used pitch. I mean, it is a used pitch today, isn't it? But defended back down the track and there's no run. I mean, it'd be a travesty if today's was not a used... I mean, I always thought that when England got to that semi-final, when they said we were at Cardiff, I was like, that's the place we'll lose at. That's cut by Shakib, but he gets an outside half of the bat. It bounces just before short third man. They get no run.
A lot of how to pace a one-day innings is how proactive you are as a batsman. I'll come back to that in a moment.
Well, we were for a long while until Root got out, really. Played out to the covers and there's no run.
But are you, as a batsman, going to put pace on the ball? Are you going to go down the wicket? Are you going to use bat speed to generate the kind of velocity that you need off the bat?
That one follows Shakib as he tries to give himself room, but it doesn't turn.
Or are you going to push the ball?
No run.
Push the ball into the gaps and wait, get your ones, and then wait for the bad ball to hit for 4? And I think England were caught in 2 minds yesterday.
Shakib goes back, punches up to long on. Last ball of the over. I mean, Jadav's gone 5 overs, 1 for bloody 15. I mean, how that's happened? 1 for 18, sorry, I don't know.
And I think what Bangladesh do is showing the experience here. They're just sitting in the game a little bit, knowing that they've got a decent platform here.
Yeah.
And they're probably looking for 300. They'd take 300 now, but they're certainly not going to risk 260 by going to try and get 320.
No.
And I think that's smart cricket.
Well, it is, getting a game. I mean, this is it. It's, if England had got 270, 280 yesterday, it would have been a different game.
Absolutely, it would have
50,
been.
60 more runs.
I think it was Pakistan's day yesterday. I mean, Azhar Ali kept playing and missing, particularly at Mark Wood, who bowled beautifully. Sometimes it just goes
sometimes it
you.
doesn't go your way, does it? That's played into leg side by Shakib off the back foot. Straight to mid-wicket, no run.
But don't you make your own luck?
Yeah, give us some tweets.
Okay, anyway, I was going to say, before messages...
Let me describe this ball, then give me a tweet. That's out. Oh dear. Shakib's gone back to cut one. And he's got a thin edge through to the keeper. That's a bit unfortunate, but it happened. And Shakib has gone for 15 off 23, caught behind by Dhoni.
And that was an example, really, there of Bangladesh doing what I was suggesting they were not doing, which he was trying to put pace on the ball there, Shakib. He went back, he gave it a full slicing cut. It was probably it was maybe a little bit too close to him because, his head wasn't steady because he was rocking back one way as the ball was too close to him really to cut. Had he hit it to the boundary, we'd said it was a good shot, but I think credit the bowlers there. Jadav really gets half the credit for that wicket by bowling such a tight spell at the other end, and then Jadeja does what Jadeja does, conjures a wicket from somewhere.
So, catch up on those tweets. Knuckles says, Jadav's bowling is what happens when wicket-keepers get ideas above their station. Right on, please don't make me watch. Nitin says, so safe to say the word of the day is filth?
Yep.
James Humberson says, so continuing banter around guerrilla cricket avant-garde jingles, shall we generate a series to be used by all of us all for fun? I don't quite know what that means.
Oh no, James Humberstone.
Yeah.
He works for. He's a lecturer at the Sydney Conservatoire, and he said he got in touch with us and he set a project for his students to write jingles for us. And there's a whole bunch actually, and they're not actually on a cart, but if you go to the audio wall, you can go and find. I've put them all in there, and they're quite good. No, in fact, they're very good. And the weird thing is, of course, they're all Sydney Conservatoire. They're all sort of probably studying to be professional musicians. So it's quite interesting to see what they throw up. And they're quite well recorded. And so the more you throw up, the better. Well, if he gets another 100 from here in 15 overs, he will be an absolute star. And Bangladesh will win about 340, I'd have thought.
How would I look them up, the jingle?
If you go to see at the top where it says more on the right-hand side, by the time clock where it says more.
Shall I read some tweets while you two discuss how to use the equipment?
On the bottom, press that arrow on the bottom.
Okay, Ravi tweet. That's the first ball of his innings, and he square drives it for a single. And now we've got all sorts of technical things going on, and I've got the bear's arse in my face. Messi Jez tweets in things you never expected to hear on Guerrilla Cricket. Gary Naylor saying, "I don't have any words." I don't remember that. He's had a lot of words since he's been on air.
Floated up and played back to the bowler, no run.
Ravi is writing in capital letters, obligatory swearing at Comrade Busfield for being slack and dilatory at tweet reading. Hawaiian shirts alone won't do. I'm on for my laughter as well, I feel.
Just pushed into the covers there by Mushfiqur, no run. I want to play some of those jingles, seeing as we're obviously being listened to in Australia.
There's a great one about England are shit. The English are shit. 178 for 4. Down the track comes Mushfiqur. Cuts that square behind. Just behind the line of points, out to the boundary, gets a single.
And perhaps this was what was going through Shakib Al Hassan's mind as he walked off the field. And this is the one to which you were referring, I think.
Australia versus England's team. They will have players who are really shit. For example, Joe Root, Ben Root, Stuart Bond, Bowen, Ali, for the English team.
And one last one. This is the Australians' lament for the Champions Trophy.
Played out to cover, no run.
Cricket rain.
Filth, absolutely. He's got him. Has he got him out? You're fucking joking. You're fucking joking, Mushfiqur. You've just... Oh, man, this boy is bowling absolute shite and taking wickets, Jadav. That was a full toss. Mushfiqur's gone down the track rightly to mash it into the leg side. But he said it's straight and bloody mid-wicket. Oh, for crying out loud.
And he knows it.
Oh, man, that's absolute fucking filth.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
Oh, dear.
And they know it. Look at that celebration. That celebration that says that was there for being twatted. And, you know, and
Kedar Janav's going, I'm bowling shit and taking wickets. That's how you do it, boys.
So this tweet from Swing It Both Ways 15 minutes ago, because I am behind again. I hope that these batters do the right thing and milk the fuck out of these shit all-rounders, and not by smashing them. And that's spot on, because that's what they've tried to do, and they've got out to it.
10 minutes ago, I was saying, these Bangladeshi boys, they've played 100, some of them 200 ODIs. They really know how to pace an innings, when to really attack the ball, when to push it around. And then since that, you've got Mushfiqur and Shakib Al Hassan have just fallen on their swords.
I mean, it was there to hit. It's just, he just hit it straight to the bloody fielder. It's just disgraceful.
What can you do? It's a funny old game,
Saint.
It's a funny old game, Saint. Steve, get some tweets in while he can.
Well, I can. So Messi Jess says it has to be said that Busfield's laughter, particularly at himself, to some extent ameliorates tweet slackness. I'm sorry. I'll go faster. Ravi says, oh God. I've lost Ravi's tweet. How about dextrophobia? Phobia? Yeah. Fear of getting out to right arm shit. Or
Yeah.
is that dextrocophobia?
Oh, Mossadegh can bat. Mossadeg's in, and he's going to face up to Jadhav. Don't get out to Jadhav. Just don't get out to Jadhav. Let's play into the leg side for no run.
A tweet. Sorry, a jingle.
Jesus. Virat was running around like a Maori after that. That's doing a hooker. That's played out to mid-wicket again for no run. This time he just plays into the offside. Oh, no. Mamadulla's gone halfway down the track, and he's been sent back, and he got back.
He ran 2 there.
Yeah.
Mahmudullah.
First we take Manhattan says, and to think everybody was so confident Bangladesh wouldn't do exactly this. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Indeed.
And Ashwin's going, this is what you should have done there. Oh, I can't believe that. So it's kind of a bit unlucky to pick out the one man. I mean, he did it quite sweetly.
It's not unlucky.
He cut behind square. Is there a man back there? Please don't be a man back there. Yeah, 4 runs. Take that. Mossadegh gets 4 and gets himself off the mark. There are only 14 overs left, but that's wasted 2 wickets on a decent platform.
2 really important wickets
as well, yeah.
Yeah, 2 men who were well in. You were sat there saying we'd like to see somebody score 100. Yeah. Well, the people who were going to score 100 have both got themselves out when they were well in.
They've got to think, we got 14 overs, we need to get another 100 runs from here.
Virat Kohli is a handsome man. Obviously, he has eyelashes like a llama's. I've never seen a handsome man look more ugly than when Virat was doing that tongue there. God, he looked ugly.
It was a good tongue.
It was a good tongue.
Nitin tweets in, dextrosinophobia, the fear of getting out to right arm filth.
Today, Joyce continues, bowls filth outside the off stump this time, gets driven square. There is a man out sweeping on the cover boundary. Surprise, one run.
Does that mean that Kevin Peterson's fear of getting out to left arm filth would be synesthesinophobia or something? Which sounds quite horrible.
Well, it was quite horrible though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well, Bangladesh have to get to 80, I think, minimum. They're going to have something to bowl at. Cut out by Mossadegh, and there is no run.
We were talking about this in the green room, and I actually think that in some ways Bangladesh are okay. I'll explain why in a moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still there to do. They've still got 14 overs left. They've got a good platform. They could do with losing 1 less wicket would be ideal, but 2 would be ideal. 1 would be okay. That's played out square behind square on the offside, and there's no run. Jadeja in again, bowls outside the off stump. It's slapped again to point, no run.
I mean, if Bangladesh are going to win this, they've got to have India really 100 for 4, maybe 100 for 5. So
I think they're 100 for 5. They'd be favourites.
Yeah, but they've got to get early wickets.
Yeah, they do have to get early wickets, and no one's got early wickets against India so far. So maybe they could do in England and fuck it up. That's played out behind square again by Mossadegh. No run.
So it's kind of, if India are chasing 300 or 240.
Again, cut. This time beats the man at point, and there won't be anyone back there. So there will be a 4 in the over, which is good. That's 2 in the over. 8.
And obviously runs on the board are handy, build scoreboard pressure and everything. But, the key to the match will be the first 20 overs. If India, at the end of 20 overs, are 110 for 1, this is a done deal.
Well, you'd have thought so. Well, that's right. The thing is, that's what England didn't have yesterday. If you have that extra 80, 90 runs on the over, it is still possible to turn it around here. We've seen a lot of sides get to 130 for 2-3 and then collapse to 220 all out, 250 all out. So having those extra runs on the board, you still have to have belief you're in the game even at that point. Whereas, I mean, this is one of the things we didn't talk about yesterday. Pakistan seeing a score of 211, your self-belief that you're going to get there makes it a hell of a lot easier than chasing 280, 290.
Mustafa Zur there is down to come in at number 11, but surely he is now the key man for Bangladesh in that he's got to weave his magic and take the wickets. And he's got to get on early. They can't do what England did, just pursue a plan that's designed to defend 320 when you've only got 211. They have to get their wicket-taking bowlers on with fields that will support them as early as possible.
Well, Ashwin's going to come in to bowl to Mahmudullah, who just works down to the leg side, straight to the man at square leg. There isn't no run.
It's not right Bangladesh off yet, though. They're 188 for 5.
What's
13 overs to go.
What's Mossadegh's batting career. I think he's quite a decent bat, isn't he? Nice little ramp up behind square. Not enough pace on it to get anywhere near the boundary, so square leg comes around to where short fine leg would be and fields it, and they get a single.
Swing it both ways says, wouldn't that be dextrocatophobia?
No idea.
Dextroscopia. Clovis the apostate.
Ashwin in bowls, worked behind square, wants a single, but there isn't one.
Says this is a shit bowling spell by Jadav worthy of Piggy Smith or Root, but you know.
Yeah.
But it's got wickets.
Yeah, it has.
Mostadek's only played 18 ODIs. His top score is 50.
No, there you go. So he's got a 50. It's worked just square on the offside. There's a man at short third man and a man at cover, so they get through for a single.
That's also a bit rude about Joe Root's bowling, I think.
Says a Yorkshireman.
There's a Yorkshireman. Yes,
Yeah,
says a Yorkshireman who watched Adam Lyth bowl Yorkshire to victory at Taunton this week.
Oh my God. Played up towards mid-on. They will get a single. It's a bit of a misfield. If that had been A.B. de Villiers, he'd probably picked it up and thrown down the stumps and it'd have been a run out. But there wasn't. And they get through for a single. There's a little misfield at mid-wicket. Pushed it up into a vacant spot behind the bowler. Ashwin comes in, last ball of this over, spins sharply, and Mostadek follows it onto the leg side, just plays it out square, and there's no run.
Just to underline my point about Mustafizur being a key man from here, he's playing his 22nd ODI. He has an extraordinary record. He has 44 wickets at an average of 18.6, an economy rate of 4.75. I mean, he really is a key man here, and he has to kind of deliver on his enormous potential if Bangladesh are really going to put the pressure on India. Because if the Indians get away, the power just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that Manhattan shows they stopped going for the single, started going to try and hit him out of the park.
And it cost them dearly.
Swing it both ways says this is why people condemn limited overs cricket. Shit all-rounders like Jadav get game ahead of proper bowlers like Yadav.
Yeah.
Yadav and Yadav.
It's true. And then they take wickets. Hardik Pandya is going to come back in the attack. He's been quite expensive.
Yeah, but without, I mean, I was at Headingley the other day.
Hardik Pandya into the attack bowls. Oh dear. Fenced that by Mamadullah. Goes through to the keeper and there's no run.
When they announced that, that Mike Bohr had died.
Mike Bohr, Nottinghamshire, left arm.
Yeah. And Yorkshire.
Oh, and Yorkshire, true.
And anybody who ever saw him bowl live would have wondered how on earth can this possibly work? That sort of slow left arm, but it wasn't slow. It wasn't turning it. It was just in a very slow seam.
Pandya in again. Second ball is defended by Mamadullah. Back to the bowler, and there is no run.
Ran in quite a long way, and then the ball went down about 79 miles an hour.
No, it wasn't that fast.
Maybe even not that fast.
Yeah, more like about 70, really, seriously. He might have been fast if he'd playing in the 4th division of the Craven League.
But really, really made for those kind of pitches that you get up in Yorkshire and Lancashire after it's been raining all week.
Oh, yeah.
Run through a side 7 for 12 in 17 overs.
Pandya short. Oh no, it's going to be out. Oh, it's dropped and then it's parried for 4. Oh dear, poor Pandya. It was kind of uppercut by Mamadullah. It was a pretty poor shot and it sort of floated up towards third man. Who was that man who dropped it?
I don't know.
It was Ashwin.
But why have they brought Pandya back? I mean, he was absolutely obliterated. They've got the overs they needed.
Let's have a look. That was Ashwin, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's uppercut it down to third man. Ashwin's come in, run, should have caught it. I mean, he got there quite comfortably. Spilled it hard enough to let it run into the boundary for 4 runs.
He's not a good fielder anywhere other than slip.
No.
And Virat's got a face on there.
Yeah, he has. And right, oh dear, edged. No, not edged. Rushed down the track, Mamadullah there. Shorter ball by Pandya. Goes through the keeper and there's no run.
Nitin tweets in a sketch request for Dr. Diaper. Jadav's round arm delivery action.
Filth. Just draw a pile of turd.
You've seen a lot of baseball in your time, Steve. That was a baseball shot, a line, an attempt at a kind of drill down the line, wasn't it?
Was it Mr. Hankey?
I wasn't actually watching the cricket. I was looking at the tweets thinking they're gonna shout at me if I don't catch up.
You old pro. You old pro.
What was the poo in South Park called? It came out the toilet. Was it Mr. Hankey? That's cut square by Mamadou. Is he going to beat the man? No, but they should come back for two, shouldn't they? They do indeed. Shikha Dhawan is fielding down there. It's played behind square out towards cover boundary. Just about gets it in. They get back for two. 197 for 5. They're in the 39th over.
Ravi says, doesn't have to be sinistraphobia. Could be leverkinophobia instead. Latin, ancient Greek, they're all the same, right?
Don't say that to Katie.
One of the batsmen here is actually what was sometimes said in the 80s. I'll come back to it in a moment.
Pandya, oh dear, flashed out again by Mamadou, trying to guard it down to third man. Misses the bat, goes through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Said in the 80s by many a terrorist was Mossad, back!
Really? Mossad,
Trozen Marcus tweets in, as an Indian, absolutely love Virat's expression to Mushfiqur because that cunt had got overexcited last year on Twitter. I don't quite know what that means.
I'll bring Fred in to get the Mossadegh joke, but anyway, no more.
PBR says Jadhav has bowled 6, which means India have 9 overs covered between him and Pandya. Bangladesh left a lot on the table. USAFL says, meanwhile, we're all over here in America, like? I don't know what that's referring to.
I hope they like us in America.
Neckel says Mossadegh averages 34 at a strike rate of 93.
That's true. I think averages, especially down the order, can be a bit misleading because you're often getting 12 not outs and stuff like that, and they can quickly build to a kind of mid-30s average if you're batting deep in the order.
Yeah.
Deep in the order, what you want is those,
number 8.
Those few times where they come in and they can build in innings. You want someone to have a top score of sort of 70 or something like that. And he has a top score of 50 not out, so he knows how to put together innings in ODI cricket, and he needs to now.
Ravi, who has really taken you literally in the capital letter stakes, says Busfield carefully aging tweets by reading the wrong way round, keeping the vintage ones in the oak barrels to age. Which is true. Well, I'm all over the place now. I think I'm up to date, but I'm not sure I am.
You're kind of editing.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not really doing that.
No.
It's not that thought out now.
Is it whiskey, single malt things they put in old sherry casks?
Well, it depends on what your favourite was.
So.
It should be, as I was pointing, if you're watching Facebook Live, I'm pointing to the big patreon.com sign behind me. Self-funding, and I did notice that a very nice man called Andrew Bradshaw donated £10 via PayPal.
Oh, that's great. And some of the names who have donated via Patreon are Marg and Jonah and Diana Patterson.
Steve Pettifer, Jane Francis, Katie Cooper, Rahul, Matt Burley, Nicola Wright. I'm just randomly picking names.
Kevin
Dave
Partington.
Wood, Barry Shaw, Adelaide Barmies,
Niall
Pandy, Jack Parle, Steve Bryant, Nathan Halley,
Mark
Zip, of course, who has been espousing. We are going to update, I think, our Patreon offerings.
Jeremy Henderson, of course.
Messy Jazz. At some point, we're going to have a meeting with people who are more experienced at this kind of stuff than us, and we might be able to make things more palatable for you. Anyway, please do help us out on Patreon or via PayPal, buy a T-shirt or do anything on the website. Join up to the archive, play the GPL. There are many ways in which you can help us that we hope you can enjoy, and will give you pleasure. And it will help us keep going because we have bills to pay and everything that's crapping out in the studio that needs replacing. And
like the chairs.
And now you want my puffer.
I do want your vape, please.
And the guy
that
playing the
money
jingles.
too.
I'm pleased that we have the Patreon ad up on the back. But didn't we have a discussion about having that as a green screen?
Yes. Well, we might get there eventually. I've got to work out a chroma key and Wirecast. Ashwin's going to continue into the pads of Mossadegh, who clips it out to mid-wicket and there's no run.
I think they're hiding Ashwin in the field by giving him the ball to bowl.
Well, he's got another over after this. He's on for 45. He's not been totally effective, has he? Hung up outside off stump. Nice late cut. Can't be the man at short third man who runs cross fields it. And there is a single.
It's kind of, Ashwin's MO in Test cricket is to put someone on the rack, and work them around the crease and block them off here, block them off there, and then get them to play a silly shot, where in ODI cricket it just allows the batsman to get set.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that, can you? Swept behind square, quite hard. Is a man going to get down there? Is a man going to get down? Nope. They're going to come back for 2 even. They're not going to come back for 2. That's a good bit of fielding. I think it's Yuvi down there.
Ravi, who is now only writing in capital letters. I've been forgiven for everything by redeeming himself for saying cunt on air for the first time since Wrong Stokes jingle.
It has been said recently. I think I still call time. Now we have a
I'm not the only one, I'm sure.
We have a 3-man change at the end of the over. Are you coming on to do ball by ball, Fred? Apparently. And we are going to be joined by Soph.
Which is handy because there's a question for her, which is the one that needs reading from there on.
They worked it down to fine leg. They're going to go through for an overthrow as the pointless throw came in and hit the stumps, and then bounced back beyond Dhoni, and they got a single as Busfield struggled out of the chair. I've got 3 balls left. Everyone else is leaving. I'm now the heaviest man on the sofa. I've been replaced. They have been replaced. I think it might be close between me and this label here, but I think I'm probably heavier.
How much do you weigh?
I'm not saying.
Okay. 18?
It's heavy. There's the throw coming. They're looking upstairs. No, the throw was a direct hit on the stumps, and it bounced out to a vacant sort of fine leg area.
Mike, if you're watching, if you found the link.
Man, sorry. You found it, ink?
The link.
The link.
I texted him the link.
To send us money?
If you want to send us money, Mike, you're more than welcome.
Indeed. That's played out square on the offside. There's a bit of hesitancy on the running here.
We could put a BSG sign behind there, couldn't we?
BSG?
That's the company who are watching us.
Yeah, they're going to give us some money and sponsor us, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that.
On Facebook Live. Then we can put it on your feed too, and lots of people see it. Floated up, down the leg side. They think about a run. I think it came off the pad of Mossadegh. It is no run. At the end of my spell, Ashwin has bowled 9 overs, number 47. They're 206 for 5. Mossadegh's on a 10. Mahmudullah's on 11. Well, how come he's bowling another ball? That's a 7-ball over.
He wants you to commentate it.
Oh, and it's a wide.
That's really fucking weird, because that's the 7th ball of the over and it's a wide. And that, the scorecard on the screen says that he'd finished the over before that, but then he's bowled a wide. That hasn't gone up on the score. I don't know what's going on. The people pressing the buttons in the Sky studio don't know what the fuck's going on. The last ball is a dot ball. So they seem to get an extra wide and a ball off that over. I don't know what's going on, but 207 for 5 after 40. Fred's going to take over, and you're joined by Soph and Nestle Boy.
Hey.
Well, on the Twitter sphere, I don't know if you were listening yesterday, guys, but Messi Jez has said, did we ever get the result for the Christ Hospital under-12Bs from the Seam Mistress?
No.
Important stuff for England's future. I can now bring you exclusively to Guerrilla Cricket the result from Mr. Snowball's under-12s.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
So Mr. Snowball is a friend of mine who teaches at Christ Hospital. And
he's actually called Mr.
He's
Snowball.
called Will Snowball.
That's his real name.
Yeah. And he has a 3-year losing streak with his team, the under-12Bs, which he
Were
wishes...
they the team who got scored 103 and 98 of them were in extras?
Yeah, and yesterday I brought you the live score, which is that they batted and scored 101 for 3, of which 26 came off the bat.
Okay.
And, oh no, my WhatsApp's just suddenly decided to update. Here we go. And I can tell you that Mr. Snowball's losing streak is intact.
Good.
Because
the opposite, they lost.
Yep, I will break off.
Well, we got a new over with a new bowler as he comes in, bowls very straight arm to Mahmudullah, tucks it into the leg side, straight to short mid wicket, no run.
Because Messi Jez, courtesy of a fielding implosion that would have even enraged an India team of the early 2000s, he lost by 5 wickets.
Oh, that should have been 5 runs. Sorry. What happened was that Dhoni had took off his glove, threw the ball at the stumps, and it hit his other glove. That should have been 5 runs. If that's possibly what went on in the last over. Anyway, another ball from this unnamed bowler who will be jingled up after this ball. It's heaved out towards deep mid wicket. They take a single, and let's have the jingle for this chap.
On jazz breed, boomer, I find myself lifted to the sky, lifted up above the world to see.
They've obviously picked it up on the TV because they're showing Dhoni, aren't they?
Yes, they're talking about it.
Yeah,
whether it's been reflected in the score remains to be seen. Bumrah bowls very full on leg stump, and he does get the bat on it. Does Mossadegh, turns it to short mid wicket, no run. Sorry, you didn't finish that anecdote.
No, it was just literally that they have lost by 5
They've
wickets.
lost. Mr.
And,
Snowball.
Mr. Snowball's under 12, Christ Hospital under 12s with 3.5 overs left.
Are Christ Hospital the one where they wear this the sort of long cloaks?
Yeah, that's the one.
In Horsham.
Yeah, and they
this next ball is driven beautifully through extra cover. He's got it between cover and mid off and out to the boundary for one of these. That's a great shot from Mossadegh. It was a full ball outside the off stump, and he gave it the treatment, but it went all along the ground, and his placement was excellent.
Going back to the Dhoni thing where he threw the ball at the stumps and it hit his glove that he'd left behind.
Yeah.
We were confused because they gave another. It looked like they gave another ball in the over.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out why.
Really have meant there was another ball. Anyway, Bumrah bowls a short ball. Mossadegh tries to guide it down to third man, gets too much of the bat on it. He goes square of the wicket, straight to the point fielder, no run.
First, we take Manhattan, says that in Crick Info's preview for today, the case was made that Bangladesh were competitive for 30 overs and then fell away. They're doing the same here.
They are. I've been texted by my brother who tells me it was given us 5 penalty runs, as it should have been. Bumrah in again. This one beats the outside edge of Mossadegh. He wasn't really a very definitive shot. He just sort of jabbed the bat at it. Didn't get close enough, and that's the end of Bumrah's over. 41 overs have gone at 212 for 5. We've got any tweets?
Let's have a look. Nakul Pandey has tweeted, our very own Nakul, Jadeja's just become the first bowler in the Champions Trophy to bowl his 10 overs in one go. That's a good fact.
That's a very good statistic.
Let's have
I'm
a
not
look.
sure how you'd look that up. Probably Zaltzman found it and Nakul retweeted. If I'm doing you a disservice, Nakul, do let us know.
Nakul knows everything, though. I've pointed this out before.
Are we up? So is that all the tweets? Or are we?
Well, we've got a very long conversation about AFL going on.
No, ignore that.
AFL?
Not the least bit interested. Let's talk about golf and skiing.
What's AFL?
Australian
rules.
football
Australian
or something.
rules.
Oh, Aussie rules.
Yeah, James Cumberson has said that AFL went down really well in China this year. Brackets not. It's the second best sport in the world, though. No softly diving for penalties in AFL, to which Clovis the Apostle has gone, agreed, assuming you mean second to cricket.
It depends which end you're counting from. A new over, it's Ravi Ashwin, and out comes the reverse sweep, and he's cleared the man at third man, a couple of bounces, and over the rope.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you know we've got a whole bunch of new 4 jingles called MOG, Boundaries for MOG, above that.
Indeed,
Some of them are very, very good.
And none of them are titled
anything
as what they are, other than for MOG. So,
Rammstein.
Is it?
That sounds like him.
But Ravi Ashwin in again to Mahmudullah, and this is, well, he's tentatively prodded it out into the offside. Not near enough a fielder, and they come through for a single. Yeah, so Bangladesh will be disappointed that they've lost a clatter of wickets to that shit bowling in the middle, let's be honest. I mean, that round arm filth. But as the bear always says, shit gets wickets. But in that case, you just bowl only shit. As this is turned around the corner from Ashwin, good running again. Mossadegh gets a single, 219 for 5.
What do you think they're going to end up on, Fred?
277?
70 something, yeah. It's not going to be enough, you'd think, wouldn't it?
You wouldn't have thought so. As Ashwin bowls to Mahmudullah. He can't do anything other than defend this into the leg side. No run. At the end of his 10 overs, he's gone for 54. And he took a bit of tap earlier. I think there were three boundaries in 1 over. He's not had thought. This one's a little bit more floaty down the leg side, and I think Dhoni might have missed a stumping.
You're doing a Norman Collier impersonation sometimes there, Fred.
Is it my mic is jumping in and out?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Let's try and tighten up my leads.
If the roadie's listening from the other room.
Ashwin in again. And this is tucked into the leg side, straight to short mid-wicket, no run, one. That's the end of Ashwin's over and his spell. He's gone for 54 off 10 overs. Bangladesh, after 42 overs, is 218 for 5. Any tweets?
Messages. I think there might be a minor difference between apostle and apostate.
Apostate, yeah.
At the scene.
Yeah, it's pretty much opposites, aren't they?
What
You
did
called
I
him the
read?
apostle, and he is the apostate.
Oh, I apologise. My reading is not been a strong point for me today.
Yeah, well, when you...
Good job you don't have to read anything out on
I
the
know,
screen.
it's very
then,
good,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? First we take Manhattan. A lot more diving for free kicks than in ice hockey, though. I think they're still talking about AFL. And Clovis the apostate. Using the old euphemisms from the sofa, I prefer to call him the Flintoffing Bradman-in-Chief. Who are they referring to? I will click on
Whom, indeed.
Whom do you speak of?
Well, there are 8 overs left. The current run rate is just under 5.2, and Bumrah starts a new over, and this beats the outside edge of Mossadegh. Bumrah is a very good death bowler, and he's only gone for 17 off his 6.1 overs so far. He will... So he's got 3 left after this, so that's going to be 45, 47 and 49. Yeah, that works pretty well.
Got a very stiff arm, isn't he?
Yes.
Very stiff arm.
There's no degrees of tolerance in his action. As Jasprit Bumrah comes in to bowl to Mossadegh. He is right arm over the wicket to the right-handed batsman. He's in now, bowls it short, and then it's an attempted cut. It's not timed. He can't beat Jadeja at backward point. It's a second dot ball in a row, and Bangladesh need to do a little bit more than this.
They ought to throw caution to the wind a bit here, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've not got much batting after this, have they?
No, they've got some. They've got Mushrafeh Murtaza, I think, will be in next.
Well, then go for it.
It's got a great jingle.
Damn it. You know.
We're seeing some interestingly attired people in the crowd. I'm not sure if it's fancy dress that we can take the piss off. As this one, he's going to be caught and bowled. He tried to pull a ball that was onto him. Did Mossadegh. It was a short ball from Bumrah. He's taken the return catch, and that's the 6th wicket falling for Bangladesh. Yeah, well, he was trying to get a move on. He was trying to get a move on. The ball was on him too quickly, and it just spooned up in the air. It didn't go very far. He had to run in a few yards, took the catch comfortably at about waist height, and another one's gone.
Another one bites the dust. Oh well. It's fun while it lasted, Banglers. But I don't think, unless something... Well then, hang on.
Live sport, anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
India could implode, Kohli could get a golden duck.
Hendo doesn't think so.
No, and I don't think, if you check the bookies' odds, that they would agree with you either.
No.
I mean, India are a very strong favourite. In fact, India were favourites for the tournament last night. They were odds on when Pakistan were already in the final and India weren't. So, which gives you some idea of how the bookies are seeing this and where the money's going.
I fancy Pakistan though.
Yeah, I think they
just because
they'll be outsiders. So if you want to put a few quid on,
yeah, I might do actually. I mean, I kind of, because I've had these arguments with a couple of Pakistani cricket fans at home and at work, and they've been so negative about their own team before it started. And I've said no, stick with them.
This is one of the great jingles in guerrilla cricket history, and the new batsman is Mushrafeh Murtaza.
Oh, your knees are fucked, Mushrafeh Murtaza. Oh, your knees are fucked, Mushrafeh Murtaza. Oh, your knees are fucked.
Why?
'Cause you fucked your knees.
Well, the first ball from Bumrah is a bouncer, and Mushrafeh Murtaza ducks right down, actually ends up on the floor to get out of the way of that. I don't think it will be called a wide.
That won't do his knees any good.
No, it's quite hard to get up once you've got that far down. But the genius of James Sherwood there on the jingles. Yeah, that was a well-aimed bounce. It would have hit his head had he stayed down. This one's, again, into the ribs. It's tucked into the leg side towards square leg. A vacant square leg. The man comes in from the boundary to field. 1 run to Murtaza. He's off the mark.
They've kept their run rate quite consistent, even though the problem's obviously they're losing wickets. But they've done that at least.
They've done that.
Yes, they have.
I just really want them to,
You're trying to find the positives.
I'm trying to
aren't you?
really find the positives. I'm a proper Bangladeshi fan.
Well, they've got a bowl
today,
yet. I mean, Yeah,
but
who
this is
knows?
definitely their strongest discipline.
Yeah, but
Anything can happen.
That's what's got them
Both.
here.
Anything can happen.
Bumrah in again, and this is just eased down to third man by Mamadullah. Takes the single off the last ball of the over, keeps the strike. At the end of 43, it's 220 for 6.
In fact, First We Take Manhattan has tweeted, well, that's it. Game over. What a shame. Don't give up quite yet.
Well, he might be trying to go to sleep because it's probably about... What time is it there? Midnight? First We Take Manhattan. You should be on to Then We Take Berlin, which is the next line of that Leonard Cohen song. And I think your Twitter name was changed after Leonard Cohen died in tribute.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good album, that. That was Tower of Song, I think, from 1984.
Another great Jewish artist, as we were talking about Jewish comedians.
We were talking
earlier.
about Jewish comedians, yeah. One thing about Leonard Cohen, he wasn't really a comedian.
Well, dark humour.
Yeah. Anyway, Mahmudullah and Mashrafi Mortaza are in. The batsmen to come are Taskin, Rubel and Mustafizur. I haven't seen a huge amount of them, but I have a feeling that if they're going to get a decent score, this partnership is going to have to do the bulk of the work.
Yeah.
We've got an opening bowler is back, and we will jingle him up after this ball as he's into bowl to Mamadullah, who cuts, can't beat the man at backward point. I think it's Jadeja, no run. Let's have his jingle.
They told me they were in alphabetical order. And they're not.
Have they lied?
They're completely not. Can't find it.
Oh.
Okay.
Have we actually got one for him?
Of course we have.
Not in CT
It's,
India. Maybe it's in India. They're in. Hang on. India Perth. Here we go.
Wow. The man that trained me on the jingle machine.
Anyway, he's in again, bowls to Mahmudullah, turns this down to fine leg, another single. Let's have his jingle.
And the bowler is...
And I've been taking care of Bushnishwa every day, taking care of Bushnishwa every way. I've been taking care of Bushnishwa, so he's fine. Taking care of Bushnishwa, no working overtime, yeah.
Bhuvi Kumar flourishes he. Bhuvneshwar Kumar has bowled 6.2 overs and has 2 for 31, which is pretty damn excellent, really. 2-2-1 for 6. He'll be bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Mashrafi Mortaza, whose knees are not in great shape. And this, he tries a big hit, hits him on the pad. There's no appeal because it was going well down the leg side, but it's another dot ball. Any more tweets?
Yep, we have Nitin Bajaj trying to offer us some hope. Nah, don't give up, mate. The Fizz could do something special yet. That was in reply to First We Take Manhattan's pessimism.
He's going to have to do a lot. Mustafizur.
And
Fizz.
I don't quite know it says. First We Take Manhattan. It's a very lazy cricket.
Oh, this is a slog. It's gone out to deep mid wicket. There is nobody there. It's one bounce and across the line for one of these.
4. Good God, yeah.
That was a good hit. It was a good length ball just outside the off stump, and he just had a whack at it.
They've got to do that now, though, haven't they? They've just got to.
Yeah.
There's no. That's it. I mean.
Well, yes, it just make it slightly easier. You know, when you're a load of wickets down earlier in the game, you're thinking, do we retrench? We've still got to score runs, but with 6, 7, 8 overs to go, well, 6.2. If you see the ball in the slot, you've got to have a whack, even if you are 6 wickets down. Mashrafi faces up to Bhuvi again. He bowls this as a Yorker at leg stump. He tries to jab the bat down on it. He gets either bat or pad on it, and it just dribbles very close to the stumps. It's another dot ball.
I do like a Yorker.
What about Yorkie Bar?
Oh, yeah, the raisin and biscuit one.
Ooh.
So if anyone's listening and is in the Sydenham area, send some raisin and biscuit Yorkie to care of Nestle Boy. And some plain ones. And some Rye Vita.
And don't put them in the bloody fridge.
Don't.
No, chocolate's no good in the fridge.
His obsession with freezing it.
Bhuvi bowls short on the hip, turned down to fine leg. Another single, keeps the strike, does Mashrafi, the end of the 44th over. It's 226 for 6.
Ravi Nair has said Jewish artists, Jewish comedians, Leonard Cohen, but have there been any Jewish cricketers for England? I need to know.
Well, there, not to my knowledge, but there was somebody who was reputed to be Jewish even though he wasn't. And that is generally assumed to be the reason why he wasn't appointed captain of England, and that's Percy Fender of Surrey.
Oh,
was thought to be Jewish, and he wasn't.
In our theme music, indeed.
Yes.
What is the story with Jewish cricket and the Jewish and the Jews?
Cricket and the Jews? I don't think there is a story. Do you want to write one?
A new Bible story?
Brunmar starts a new over. It's full and outside the off stump. Mashrafeh tries to get a bat on it, can't. Through to the keeper, no run.
Well, from a cultural point of view, why is that, do you think, that there isn't a...
There aren't... there's Jewish sportsmen. Well, in England, there's never been a vast Jewish community that you would have been able to tap up for talent
as well. A lot of them weren't allowed to bloody join clubs. Golf clubs being one of them.
Yeah, it's true of
back
golf.
in the day.
I'm not so sure if that was true of cricket.
No,
Bumrah bowls, and this is tucked into the leg side, but again can't beat the man, saving one at mid wicket, no run.
In Essex, Chigwell for a long time wouldn't allow Jews to join.
There is a Jewish golf club in
Abridge.
That's right.
Abridge Country Club. They actually built it
as a sticking two fingers up. Yeah. Now probably Chigwell's got a lot of Jewish members.
It has.
Yeah. A lot of Jews with time to play golf in that part of the world. Mashrafeh Mortaza faces up to Bumrah, who's in and bowls short, pulled, an attempted pull. It dribbles out on the leg side. They take a single. There's a needless shy at the stumps. Fortunately, there were two men backing up, because otherwise that was just a completely pointless bit of fielding. But it's just the one run. Only one run off 3 balls so far this over.
Do you know, we've been tweeted a Wikipedia page, which is by Swing It Both Ways, which is the category Jewish cricketers, and Fred Truman's on the list.
Yeah, Fred Truman's on there. There is some doubt as to whether that is or isn't true.
There's Michael Klinger.
Michael Klinger, yeah. There have been a few Australians, and there was a South African called
quite a few.
Olin, who was... previous name was Olinsky. As Mamadullah is... Oh, this is tucked down the leg side. I hope he didn't get anything on that, because it'll be called a wide. If he did, it's going to be a dot ball. And it is a... Let us know. It's a dot ball. He did get a bit of pad on that. It's unfortunate. It would have been a wide had he missed it. He didn't.
Meanwhile, Jacko Maverick has tweeted saying, you guys should commentate on the Tour de France. I would surely listen to that.
Well, if we did, there's one man who sitting on my right who would certainly be involved in that, and that's Nestle Boy, who loves a bit of Tour de France. As Bumrah bowls a full toss on the hip. It's turned round the corner to fine leg. It's a good sprawling stop down on the boundary, but I'm wondering if that might be called a no ball for height. What is this going to be called? Waiting to see the umpire's decision. No, it's just 2 runs. So the square leg umpire didn't think that was too high. Good stop. Who that? The one-handed stop down on the boundary, and that must be. Is that?
Just as you were going to say the name, they
pulled it away. Anyway, this over from Bumrah has only gone for 3 runs from 5 balls. He comes in to complete it now, and he takes the off stump out of the ground, and that is the end of Mahmadullah. Yeah, it was full and straight, and Mahmadullah had given himself room outside the leg stump, and he couldn't lay a bat on it. It was a good bit of bowling. It was very full, very straight, and it had too much from Mahmadullah. He looks at his bat in some surprise, but I think it's more where his hands put his bat.
Weren't the
actual
bat. Weren't the bat.
Yeah, no, it's a good bit of bowling. Mahmadullah went for 21 off 25 balls with 2 fours at a strike rate of exactly 84 runs per 100 balls. And this, unfortunately, this Bangladesh innings is subsiding somewhat.
It's petering out.
Yep. And we haven't seen anything in the wicket or in the conditions which would suggest that India are going to struggle. But it's live sport. You never know. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Stick with us, and we will tell you every ball, as we have done with this whole competition. And if you're enjoying our coverage, then please do think of shipping us a few quid, either on our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket, 1 R 2 L's in Gorilla, or you can send us some money via PayPal, or you can send a courier around with an envelope full of £50 notes. We accept any of those methods.
And you get you get access to the archive, don't you, for a certain amount of money?
No, not on the Patreon. If you do want to buy our archive, it's £20 a year, and you will. Get ready for this. How good is this? You will be able to access all of the commentaries we have done since 2014.
Ever.
Which is a pretty substantial amount of you know, if you're taking a lot of plane journeys, it could keep you going. Anyway, Booby starts a new over. This is a very full ball to Mashrafeh Mortaza, who drives this. The bowler stuck out a hand. I think he may have deflected it somewhat. And so they take a single. The new batsman, who will now come into face, Sean, you're looking a bit puzzled. Is his name not there? It's going to be Taskin.
Well,
I can't believe it's not.
In the meantime, if you don't wish to give up your weekly coffee and you don't want an archive, you might be in the need of a new hat. Or a new T-shirt,
our store,
or a new
yes.
bat, because
Which
you
is
can buy it from Guerrilla Cricket.
Absolutely, competitively priced merchandise. By that I mean really expensive, but the money goes to us, and you'll be walking around with some very select people who are wearing Guerrilla branded merchandise.
Great gym T-shirts. I think they would be a good gym.
I have no
T-shirt.
idea what that means.
Going to the gym?
No, you've lost me. Boovy comes in, bowls to Taskin, who plays a forward defensive shot, and is beaten by the ball outside the off stump. What is going to the gym? How does that work?
It's this like weird place where people go and grunt as they push things around.
Oh, it sounds it. Yeah.
I've had a message from my friend Archie Baker, who's watching on Facebook Live.
Hello,
Hello,
Archie.
And he says, have you cut your leggings up into shorts?
Yes, I have. Oh, no, you. I see.
No.
Sorry, I thought you...
I just like flowery things. What can I say? I know I'm on TV. I've got to perform.
Well, we should have a boost in Facebook Live listeners, as this one is nurdled down to third man by Taskin. He's very wisely decided to get off the strike, takes a single, 231 for 7. There are 4 overs and 3 balls left of this innings, unless Bangladesh are bowled out.
You did a good job on Ed's love bites.
I think what happens in the green room stays in the green room.
Not necessarily. Not when you can take the piss out of one of the other commentators.
Yeah, but he's not here to defend himself. Anyway, on Twitter, First We Take Manhattan says, didn't one of the old TMS crew, Memory Thinks Fred Truman, find out very late in life he was Jewish?
Yeah, there was some debate as to whether he was adopted or... I don't know. I think it was never proven one way or the other, but I think he played it up thinking that it might be useful to him.
Neil Franklin says Fred's grandma was Jewish, the story was, I think.
That's what the story was, as Boovy bowls a short ball and it's hooked over the keeper's head. There's nobody down there. One bounce and over the rope for one of these.
One of my favourite things about George, about Fred Truman, rather, was the fact that his son married Raquel Welch's daughter.
Yes.
And Raquel Welch and Fred Truman I got a great picture of the two of them at the wedding together.
They were indoors.
It's like the most, that couple just
bizarre worlds colliding.
Yes. All right, Raquel. Remember you in 10 million years BC. It was bloody great. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation.
The kids today don't even know who Raquel Welch is.
Yeah,
we'll
Raquel
give
Welch?
a 2017 version of this one. Oh, it's a slow ball outside the off stump, and Mashrafeh tries to hit it over cover, only under edges it through to Dhoni, and it's a dot ball. Raquel Welch is probably the...
Look her up on Google and just hit images, and you'll see why we
Is she a Bond girl?
No, she could have been. She could have been. She was.
She should have been.
That era and that sort of build. Let's put it that way.
Build.
Yes.
She still looks pretty good today for her age.
Well, actresses who've made a certain amount of money don't age. I don't know why that is.
No, can't imagine.
Bhuvi Kumar in to bowl to Mashrafeh. It's full. In fact, it's a full toss. He gets this into the leg side out towards the mid-wicket. That's 1 run, keeps the strike. End of the 46th over. 236 for 7. It's not enough, we don't think.
No.
Any more tweets?
Sorry, I was sidetracked by Raquel Welch. Nitin Bajaj
we often are.
said Dejaman Mohamedullah could have tonked another 20 or 30 easy, big wicket. And he's come back saying, is there a better exponent of the Yorker in international cricket at the moment? Super stuff.
Than Bumrah?
Yeah,
well, he's a very, very good death bowler. And not to make excuses about England in any way, they were completely outplayed by Pakistan. But I think Wokes was a loss for England in the bowling department.
Yeah, massively.
Because he bowled good overs at the start and good overs at the end. Not that it would have counted in yesterday's game all that much. But hey-ho, Bumrah will be bowling to Mashrafeh, comes down the wicket and gets a bottom edge on a bouncer, on a Yorker rather, and manages to squeeze this past the stumps and past Dhoni down to the boundary for 4 runs.
With the super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, super shatter, rocker, rocker, super shatter.
Oh, there's a bit of dancing from the batsman. It was a Yorker aimed at middle stump. He just got the faintest bit of bat on it, sent it past the leg stump and past Dhoni, and the bowler is laughing. And it's a good attitude to take when you should have got a wicket and you've actually gone for 4 runs, but he can't quite believe that happened. And I'm sure a lot of people who were watching it can't either. Mashrafei moves up to 17, 240 for 7. As Bumrah's into him again, bowls a shorter ball, and he's worn this on the chest. That was short. He went for a pull. It hit him in the ribs, and Bumrah's laughing again.
Ravi Nair says, I reckon that if the Bangals go over 250, India will take a cautious approach and start sweating towards over 47.
It's not that hot.
And Messi Jez, things you never expected to hear on Guerrilla Cricket. Number 4, who is Raquel Welch?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you were born in the 21st century, weren't you, Sophia?
I was. I'm a millennial.
As this one is dragged out towards wide mid-on. That's a horrible shot from Mashrafei, but he does get a single. So 5 runs from 3 balls of this over so far brings Taskin on to strike. Are you sure there's no Taskin jingle? You might have to do a manual search in Audio War.
Well, there's not one in the Champions Trophy Sri Lanka.
Well, he doesn't play for Sri Lanka, he plays for Bangladesh.
Sorry. Here we go. In the Bangladesh one.
Anyway.
Sometimes you just...
Have a brain freeze. Yeah, and you lock us all out of Katie's face.
If you get to the ground by night, you can see this fella shine. He starts his run up looking real mean.
Brain freeze.
If he ever gets annoyed, he's got himself a random ploy. He loves to get at batsmen all day. And he'll be tasking care of business.
Tasking care of business. It's a short ball from Bumrah. It goes over the shoulder and through to the keeper. It's not a wide, it's a dot ball. Tasking care of business. Not a bad pun.
Derek Willis has got a point. Is there a reason why umpires don't have jingles?
I thought of one for Rod Tucker, but I couldn't think of a decent rhyme. As Taskin faces up to Bumrah, who's in now, bowls another Yorker, attempted Yorker. He gets this on the full to Taskin, just gets out to deep mid-wicket. They think of one, they're thinking of 2. They've come halfway. This could be a problem. It is not a problem. The throw comes in too late. That's 2 runs, 245 for 7.
Gurjeet Jutla has tweeted, no chance for Bangladesh. India will meet Pakistan in the final and will beat the hell out of them.
Ooh, fighting talk.
And Messi Jez, no, Fred, surely the sea mistress was not born in the 21st century. She may be young, but not that young.
She didn't demur, as this one is edged down to a fine third man by Taskin for another single. I got the score wrong. It wasn't 245, it was 243. It's now 244. You weren't born in the 21st century. It depends when you start counting the centuries, I suppose. So Bumrah has completed that over. There are 3 left. 244 for 7. Taskin has 4. Mashrafei 18. Are we up to date with tweets? We have to find something else to talk about.
Yeah, pretty much so. We've got Nitin Bajaj. Oh, hello. Loads have just come in now. So Nitin Bajaj has said, sacrilege, absolutely horrifying. Jeff Boycott, I'd rather score 100 for Yorkshire than spend an evening with Miss Welsh, is squirming.
Yeah.
First we take Manhattan. The closest recent equivalent to that would be, I guess, a weird Boycott Katy Perry meeting a few years back.
Yeah, there was something about that. But
because he's a big fan, is Jeffrey Boycott.
Is
Firework song
is he just?
That one.
Well, a new over, and it's Bumrah bowling, and he goes past the outside edge of Taskin into the gloves of Dhoni, who claps his bowler. Well, he's not his bowler anymore, but you know what I mean. How old is Dhoni? Is this going to be the last time we see it? Is Dhoni going to make the next World Cup? I suppose he's not that old, is he?
What is he, 33?
I'll be able to tell you in a second. Once I've worked out how to use my phone.
So. He's retired from Test cricket.
Yeah.
And he does a valuable job. I mean, he's going to be playing IPL for many years to come at a price he could name. As this one is again past the outside edge. Slower ball from Bhuvi Kumar. And Taskin plays too early. It's through to Dhoni. No run.
Quite a nice position to be in, isn't it?
He was born in 1981, so that makes him 35 years and 343 days.
This is a short... this isn't a short ball, that was a replay. So he's coming up to his 36th birthday. So he will be probably 38 at the next World Cup, 37, 38. I would imagine he should make that fairly comfortably. They're not going to drop him, let's be honest. So as long as he keeps scoring some runs, coming in at the end, getting some not outs. Again, past the outside edge. This is a wonderful over from Bouvier, and Taskin is trying to get a bat on it, and he can't get near it. Top bowling.
Yeah, I mean, a lovely position where you can just sort of play the one-day stuff and pick up the cash in the IPL.
Well, you have to do a bit of work. You have to keep fit, and he's earned his position by being a good player for a number of years.
Absolutely,
but he is more than a cricketer in India. He is he's a demigod. They probably allow him to walk unmolested in the street. Bouvier bowls again, and an attempted slash down to third man by Taskin. He can't get a bat on the ball. There is 4 dot balls, and he's played a wild shot at each of them and hasn't actually hit the ball as yet. Oh, we found 2 Ireland fans in the crowd. They were perhaps bought these tickets 5 years ago expecting Ireland to qualify. Slightly disappointed.
When are they coming on? Are they on there?
I've got to be careful not to make Irish jokes with Nestle Boy next to me.
Oh no, I don't mind that. I'm very un-PC. Don't worry about that.
In again, bowls short, and guess what? He tries to slug it and he misses. This could be a very rare chance at a maiden in the 48th over of an ODI. Probably not unique, but there can't have been very many of them. Knackle, if you're not doing anything, can you check? How many times has the 48th over of an ODI been a maiden?
Knackle doesn't need to check, he knows.
What is that green painted thing next to the umpire?
I'm not quite sure.
British Gas have been in.
Oh, okay. Are they going to dig that bit up?
He bowls again. It's not a maiden because it's edged past the keeper and down to the boundary for 4 runs.
I know you count it. You're all about it. You want to shout it, count the 4 times.
It's one of the Mogs.
Well, Knackle, you can stand down. You don't have to do that statistical research because, fortunately, Taskin got an outside edge on one. Bouvier has bowled particularly well. His figures don't necessarily show that. He's got 2 for 47 with 1 over to come. But Bangladesh, with 2 overs to go, are 248 for 7.
Are they trying to get a competitive score out of this, sort of push it into the 250s and then,
Well, let's hope for the best. But, at this point, India are very strong favourites. This poor baby
looks horrified.
Is not enjoying being sung to by a crowd of Indian supporters, or possibly Bangladesh supporters. I didn't see the flag. Mashrafeh will be facing up to Bumrah as he's in now. Bowls a short ball, and it's gone up in the air and over the keeper's head. And it's, most of the 4s that have come recently have come in that same spot. It's another 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're nothing if not diverse on this show. We have jingles in all sorts of languages. I think the top one of those, number 1, it might be the Japanese 1, 2, 3, 4 jingle. Well, maybe we'll hear that again. 252 for 7. The 250 is up for Bangladesh. I'm sure they've got a big cheer from the Tiger fans. So this one is slapped out towards extra cover. It beats a diving mid-off. It's down to the boundary. It's another one of these.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
That's the Sesame Street one. That's the Sesame Street one, yeah. The count. Mashrafeh moves up to 26. Useful runs, these.
Yeah.
That was a good slap. And whoever that was diving, was it Hardik, possibly? Jasprit Bumrah is not particularly happy with the effort from his fielder there. But Kohli gives a rueful grin as Bumrah's in again to Mashrafeh, full and straight, and it beats the bat, which wasn't going to send it anywhere, and goes through to Dhoni. Dot ball.
Derek Willis has said, just seems like the Hey Macarena was made for Kumar Dharamasena, is all I'm saying.
Dharamasena. Good call. Good call.
PJ Mead, lost interest in this competition, but as I'm in the gym, I'm either listening to you or the nether regions of Spotify. There should be no or in that.
It could be another reasons of us. How did that not bowl him? He's got a bottom edge on that. It was another full ball. It was a Yorker from Bumrah, and Mashrafeh got an under edge on that. Couldn't get a run because it went through to the keeper. I can't believe that didn't bowl him.
How many times have we seen this though? Where he just slaps it and gets the underside of the bat.
Yeah, this is good bowling. And Bumrah has 2 balls left of his spell, and there are 8 balls left in the Bangladeshi innings. They are 256 for 7 as Bumrah's in again. It's a full toss, and it's slapped down straight to deep long on, only for a single. Trying for the Yorker, he over-bowled that somewhat. It was probably a knee-high full toss, and he may have been able to do better with that. But he only gets a single, 257 for 7. Mashrafeh has 27.
Ravi Nair has kindly sent me the iconic pose from Raquel Welch's 10,000 BC.
Yeah.
Nitin Bajaj said he would also include in the odd meetups KP and Taylor Swift meeting up on Graham Norton.
I've never heard of either of those. This one is edged down to third man for a single by Taskin, who's kept the strikes. Probably not in Bangladesh's interest, but you can't really turn down runs at this point. That's the end of the 49th over, and Bangladesh, well, they've taken the score off the screen, but whatever they're on is probably not quite enough, but it's
not far from being enough. It's just
well,
not quite.
I think enough. 280 plus would have put a little bit of pressure on the Indians. I still would have backed them to make it, but 260, whatever they're going to make, is really not going to be enough, because India don't have to go mad at any stage. But we'll see. 258 for 7 is the score with 1 over to go. It will be bowled by Bhuvi Kumar.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say, Gurjeet Jutla has tweeted us saying, Bangladesh played well. I would say better than they normally play. However, we'll see if it's good enough for India.
Yeah,
sorry.
There was a very good partnership. Oh, God, I haven't got the scorecard up in front of me. But that collapse where they lost 3 wickets in the middle order to some absolutely dreadful bowling has put the brake on the innings as Bhuvi starts his last over, and this is pulled out towards mid-wicket. It's going to be a single to Taskin. Probably a good idea to get Mashrafeh on strike. Taskin moves up to 10, I believe, and we're watching Kohli sympathising with the batsman who got hit the last ball, the last over between the overs. What's he doing? They're having a chat. Who knows? A lot of these players are now teammates in various competitions around the world at various times. And Kohli's never far away from a photo op, is he?
They're just telling him he hasn't got enough, mate.
No, he did get hit on the shoulder. He edged one. He sort of gloved it into his shoulder, so maybe Kohli was commiserating and saying, I did that once when I was 14. I didn't time a ball.
I still hit it for 4, though.
Yeah. So Mashrafeh's on strike now. Dhoni's moving the field. Somebody hasn't told him that he's not the captain anymore. But the right-handed Bhuvi will be bowling to the right-handed Mashrafeh. It looks like the third man is up. It's full and straight, and well, he drags it into the leg side and turns down a possible single. I'm not sure that's a great idea.
On the field, though, it does look like Dhoni and Kohli are actually sort of joint captains, because they do confer a lot.
Is it joint, or are they undermining each other?
Oh, I don't know.
Dhoni, I think, tends to forget that he's not in charge, which is easily done. He was in charge for many years.
And he is Dhoni.
Yeah.
And he is Dhoni.
He runs the world. Who runs the world? Not girls.
Dhoni.
MS Dhoni. Come on, Beyonce, keep up.
No idea what you're talking about. Bhuvi's in again, outside the off stump. That's going to be called a wide. At least it better damn well be called a wide. It was outside the guidelines. Yes, indeed. That is an extra.
There is a one of these, in fact.
Wide.
Everyone loves that jingle.
Yeah.
How
Everyone
can you
loves
not?
all our jingles, except, of course, for Zafar Ansari.
Oh, sad day when he retired.
No,
Having
he
to
retired because of his jingle. Mashrafeh faces up to Bhuvi again. This is full and straight and driven back past the bowler. They've taken 1. They should try and come back for 2. They do. They are going to get it. It's good, decent bit of fielding. Probably a direct hit would have run him out, but you're not going to get many direct hits from down there. 2 more to Mashrafeh. 262 for 7. He moves up to 29th. 3 balls left of the innings.
Did you hear?
Bhuvi is limping. He's pulled something. He cannot carry on. And if India get through to the final, this could be a big loss for them.
Talking of players and jingles, did you see the other day that Tim Bresnan loves our jingle of him?
Does he?
How did we know that?
We sent it to him and he played it and he tweeted back, and then I tweeted him and he tweeted me. He said he had it in his head all day, and he slightly changed the lyrics from he used to be fat to he is still fat.
That's fantastic. Did you include Sherwood in on the tweet?
Yeah, I think he was on the original one, but no, he said he couldn't get out of his head.
Oh, but it's a great jingle.
Yeah.
We'll play it. Maybe find it. Do a search for it and see if you can find it, because it's one of Sherwood's masterpieces. And Bhuvi is going to try and complete this over. It looks like he rolled his ankle. I haven't seen a slow motion replay. He has 3 balls left to bowl. He's walking very tentatively, it's fair to say. The umpire is commiserating with him. How are we doing for time? This is very rare. I would say 10th. This looks like it might end before the allotted time for the first time in the tournament.
Ooh. Do you get anything for that? the way that you get punished if it's always hopping.
He's definitely favouring his left foot. Really, he's going to try and complete his over. He's sending people away. He's thinking, yeah, I'll be fine. If he's rolled his ankle, that could be a problem for India. Not so much in this game, but if, as we expect, they do beat Bangladesh and get through to the final, and he would have to miss out, that would be a big loss for them. He's in now to bowl. He looks all right. That is a horrible bit of batting. He tried to slap it through the offside. He gets an under edge. It bounces out. It hits him on the body, and then the batsman, against the laws of the game, picks it up in his back to the bowler. If they would have appealed, he would have been given out, but nobody would do such a thing. Dot ball, 2 balls left of the innings, 262 for 7. Come on, let's get at least one boundary. Give the Bangladeshi fans and the Bangladeshi players a little bit of cheer going into the mid-innings break.
Dr. Dan Diper has sent me a link.
This is full and straight and cut to backward point. Have they taken a single? They should have done. They should have attempted a single. Yes, they do. 263 for 7. 1 ball left, and Taskin's going to face.
It is a link of Fred and Raquel at the wedding. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Dan.
Can you see what Raquel's why she was famous?
Yeah, no, I see. She's really lost her looks though. She's
oh dear.
She's had too much of Shane Warne's moisturiser.
Now we have this.
What's this?
He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat and he's from Pontefract in prison. He's never too flash, his first wicket was Nash and he's got no moustache in prison. He loves to relax and his son is called Max and that's all my facts about prison. He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat and he's from Pontefract in prison.
Booby bowling the last ball of the innings, and this is slapped out to wide mid-off. They take 1 run. Bangladesh are going to finish on 264 for 7 off their 50 overs. Boovy's 10 overs, he took 2 for 53. Taskin finishes on 11. Mashrafeh with some decent hitting at the end, 30 off 25. The run rate is 5.28. India are going to need, they just took the score off. I hate it when they do it. 265 to win at 5.3 and over. And let's hear some more of Tim Bresnan. This is the 2-minute version.
He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat and he's from Pontefract
in prison.
He's never too flash, his first wicket was Nash and he's got no moustache
in prison.
He loves to relax and his son is called Max and that's all my facts about prison. He bowls and he bats and he used to be fat and he's from Pontefract in prison.
Excellent. That and all other jingles and all other commentaries of ours are available on our archive. If you pay us £20 a year, you have access to everything that we've ever done.
Everything.
And it's all brilliant.
One day we should record the green room and put that on the archive.
That would be
exciting.
Patreon-only content.
Yeah,
We'd have to charge a lot for that. Video of the green room. Oh, could you imagine? It's mostly just makeup. We have to spend an hour and a half in makeup before we come on here.
Yeah, we do.
Because,
some of us have to spend longer than others.
Yes, you do. But
Fred!
You are our makeup artist of choice. 264 for 7. We don't think it's going to be enough, but anything can happen in live sport. Bangladesh I'm hoping that having got to a semi-final, which is an amazing achievement for them, they didn't sputter out, and they haven't really. 264 is a reasonable score. They have something to bowl at. And
but they wanted
early
more.
Wickets. They do want more. You always want more.
Did you not realise you were rhyming then?
No,
it's a reasonable score, but they wanted
was
more. Tim Bresnan.
Yeah.
His son is called Max.
Should I catch up on the old Twitter?
Why not?
Round us off. So there's been a conversation about who was on the wall in the Shawshank Redemption, the posters on the wall.
Rita Hayworth.
Yes, Clovis the Apostate has said Rita Hayworth, and Nitin Bajaj has come in with a lot of knowledge about it, so much so that Clovis the Apostate has replied saying, wow, you'd be an asset on trivia night.
Well, the original book by Stephen King was called Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
So that was a bit of a clue.
Swing it both ways, said Zafar Ansari retired because of his back. With his education, he should be okay in life. Oh,
I think so, yeah. And also because he had nobody to talk to in the Surrey dressing room. It was like Jay Dernbach and Jason Roy. And he was talking about ancient history.
We also have Rina Kita saying nice Zimbabwe to... What's this word? D-U-I-G-N. Dame. What does that mean? I'm going to start using that. It's nice of Zimbabwe to deign to play lowly Scotland, who are tonking them at 12 and over in the death overs.
Wow. Really?
Well, that could potentially be slightly more interesting, maybe. We'll see. And we've just been followed by Deepak. Thank you very much, Deepak.
Welcome, Deepak.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, a mid-interval break. We're going to play some highlights, I think, from New Zealand versus Australia in the World Cup, which was a cracking game. I'm not sure whether it was the final, probably the group game, actually. And we'll be back in, I would suggest, about half an hour, possibly 40 minutes for the second innings of this game. Until then, bye for now.
See you later.
Bye.
No.
Failed at both.
I remember one. No, you say that. I was literally just about to end with a self-deprecating comment. I have once got 2 ducks in one of those games. It was the most humiliating thing ever. Oh God.
We've had a drinks break. We're in the middle of a drinks break.
That's 30 overs, wasn't it?
That was 31 overs gone. Slightly delayed
Strange.
drinks break. Haddon is 36 not out. Well, the only sort of stand-up scorer really, and definitely in the bottom half of that card, of 38. We've had Finch dismissed for 14 after a good start with Warner, who had made 34 himself. Watson a very scratchy 23 before the captain Clark saw most of his partners depart, making 12 of 18 balls. Smith 4, and pretty much nothing else from the rest of the order. Oh, and I've already seen a replay. I got very excited. I thought we were back first.
Hashtag village.
I'm not the first. I won't be the last either.
No,
that's for sure.
They don't put the bloody R in the corner anymore, do they?
No, not like the old days.
Not like the old days.
It's bloody disgrace these days, this blooming TV cover. You put R in corner, all these gizmos. It's just a million other nonsense, isn't it? It's just
exactly. Well, that's what Fred Boycott would say, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You can't say I'm Jeffrey because otherwise there'll be a blooming lawsuit with BBC. Yeah, impersonation and that. Anyway.
So Trent Bolt, obviously the pick of the bowlers. We see his stats up again. 10 overs, 2.7. But that spell, that's probably the best World Cup spell we've seen so far.
No, Tim Southey's I think was better.
Even better.
Yeah.
As Mill comes to Cummings, I believe, knocks it out onto the leg side, and there'll be a run. Actually, it was probably Haddon the first ball of the over.
I mean, the spell by Southey against England was just amazing. I mean, the first 4 wickets were absolute peach deliveries. You know, one was a full-in swinging Yorker to get Moeen Ali, and 2 just swung in, left the batsman, and just kissed the outside of off stump, beating the outside edge of the bat. I mean, they were unplayable deliveries. So
rather than poor rash shots from the Australians who've just been playing on.
Well, yeah, true. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've definitely got 2 outstanding bowlers for ODI cricket and obviously World Cup. I mean, you've got to say they've got a good chance of winning. Well, but that old adage, if they don't lose a game in the group stage, where do they lose it?
Well, this is
Quarter,
it.
Semi,
I
or
think
final,
they're playing a lot at home after this one even as well. As Mill continues, this one moves a little bit off the pitch. It beats Cummins outside his off stump. It beats the bat. It's a dot ball.
But the finals at the MCG.
The final is
Australia, New Zealand, the MCG.
Different game to Eden Park.
You know it. And New Zealand, I think, hammered them at Eden Park. Will probably go the other way in a World Cup.
It's a little bit of a sort of destiny. It was written about this almost now.
Yeah.
Cricket Info is toilet.
Is it? Why is it toilet?
Absolutely toilet. I cannot find the England ladies.
Yeah, I know. I've been having the same problem.
We've had this. As Mill continues, another short pitch ball.
Really?
Cummins can only duck and sway out the way. It's another dot ball.
Really poor. You'd think they'd have that on there. A few tweets to Ralphie because we're really behind.
I think they should be sued for discrimination, shouldn't they? Cricket Info, you know.
Evil Scooters, Australia have reached the summit of Mount Scotland. At least that's something. New Zealand versus Oz. Aussie backing the Black Caps. Nitin Barge, new converts to the cult of the Gorillas, say hi to Cuckoo, Bachu, Venki, and Sir. That reminds me of the Venkis from Blackburn Rovers.
Hi guys, hi.
Hello.
But they chicken magnets, weren't they, or something?
Yeah, had that advert with David Dunn and the chicken. Brilliant.
As Mill continues, this one's driven one-handed by Cummings. He can't beat a backward point, and there's no run there. Well fielded by, I don't know who was the back? I think Guptill fields there. Yes, there he is.
Poor technique from Cummins, and if he survives another 8 overs, we'll have someone back in to complete that in more detail for you. Quick tweets. We also have the Aussie spirit kicking in, and then a link. I'm just going to check. That's not. McCullum has just about bowled out his best 3 bowlers and only taken 9 Australian wickets. Hashtag advantage Australia. That's ridiculous.
Wishful thinking.
Slightly wishful thinking. As Mill continues, this one's touch straighter. It's defended pretty well by Cummins, actually. He takes a half a step down the pitch. The ball goes back to the bowler, and it's another dot ball.
Even more tweets. From Darkest Peru, must say I'm enjoying Alan Bennett's stretch behind the mic.
I guess that's you.
What, me?
Alan Bennett, Northerner.
Northern Monkey.
Ravi Nair, Guerrilla Cricket latest from the women's game. Overs 31, runs 144 for 4. 19 overs to get 87. Oh, that doesn't sound too good.
That's pretty tense. As Mill comes in for the final ball of his over, this is wide of the off stump. It's left alone by Cummings. That is the end of the 32nd over. Australia only one off it. Australia moved to 145 for 9.
Who would you rather be? 31 overs gone, 144 for 4, 19 overs to get 87. I think that's pretty much in the balance.
Yeah, I mean, in the men's game, that would be a done and dusted deal, but maybe not necessarily in the women's game, but it's less than 5 and over.
Yeah, I'd probably still rather be the batting team.
Where's this match being played? Do we know how the boundary sizing for these are?
No idea. No
Who
idea.
are you playing?
It could be backyard cricket, you don't know.
I think it's
At our school, if you got it over the groundsman shed, you got a 10.
Is it is it one bounce, one hand as well?
Yeah, that's classic. That's classic. And Struth 63, great one that I feel requires a certain voice. How long does it take for adage to become told? Too old. Anyway, how long does it take? I don't know.
We've got a new bowler though. That's one thing we do know.
Oh, we have a jingle for this man.
Corey.
Yep.
Let's have it.
Anderson.
Corey,